Okay. All right, that time is just to get it started. All right, I'm going to start it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's the bottom of the ninth, and we've got Derek Holland pitching. Here comes the pitch, and God forbid that ball's going far. Here comes Delino DeShields, and my God, he's faster than a cheetah, just running around catching some prey. Here he comes, and he's got the ball. God forbid he's fast, he's incredible, and he's Delino. Here, give it up for Delino on the Secret Handshake podcast.
Yeah, everybody give it up. Well, there's only a couple people to give it up. Derek, we'll go ahead and give him a quick little clap here. Also, I think we should all acknowledge. Yeah, we should all acknowledge how phenomenal that Harry Carey impression was just now. Might be one of your best. Derek? What's the most?
Okay.
Well, what's the most requested impression that you get, Derek?
I'd probably say it is actually Harry Carey, to be honest. It'd be between that and maybe Kermit the Frog. I think that's one that kind of flows quite a bit. A lot of people like that one.
Kermit, you did the other night. You and I were at a Dallas Stars game, and you dropped. You actually got challenged into an Arnold Schwarzenegger competition, and you clearly won. But it was definitely like the highlight of the night. Can we get a quick sample of Arnold?
Listen to me. We have one of the greatest guys here in all of the world here. He's here from Texas. I can't believe it. It's Delino. Come on. I'm excited for him.
That's phenomenal. So, yep, the secret is out. And, man, this is going to be tough. You're going to have to teach Delino the secret handshake after this, but I won't be there to support you on that.
Well, can we at least bring that up, though? I know we got Delino. We're going to get to him in a second. But it's our first episode away from each other. It's so depressing. We're not beside each other.
I know. This is a test. So just a quick disclaimer at the beginning of the podcast. If there's any technical difficulties here, it's because we're working through them as we speak. So it should be good, though. I think we got the setup dialed in. Yeah, it's a lot easier to blame you for most things.
I think we did good. No, not blaming you. Not blaming you. Blaming me.
Oh, okay.
I know your name starts with a D, and mine does too, but we're blaming me, not D.
All right.
There we go. Hey, and then, so this is our first remote broadcast. This is episode 4. We've got special guest, former teammate, now arch enemy of Derek's, Delino DeShields, center fielder of the Texas Rangers. But not only do we have that, Derek, but what am I wearing right now?
You have what is going to be an on-sale item for one of the greatest things. I wish we could actually see the camera right now for you. How you just displayed that might have been the greatest thing. You actually showed like maybe half the shirt from like basically the top of the logo up.
No, that's just the Skype angle. But
not for sale.
No, but on the GoPro, 100%, you could see the whole thing. I made sure. Just the Skype angle that you're watching right now, that's probably what it looked like. So, but yes, we do have the hoodies coming. Yeah, and we got the T-shirts, so those will be coming soon. We already had a few people request on the Instagram DMs, where can I get that right now? So I think we'll end up dropping these here in the next couple weeks and see what it does.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, those are definitely turned out really sick. I'm excited about that. I think what'll be cool is once we get them out to where we can make hats too. I think that's a big popular item because winter is closing. So basically, everybody's going to be not wanting a hoodie as well. But don't get me wrong, a comfy hoodie in the house. If you come to my place, the temperature is usually about 68 degrees. You got
it's freezing.
I know
it's always freezing at your place.
And you were complaining about how cold it was, but you didn't really want to say it. But you
yeah.
No, let me know that you were cool.
Oh, I'm just not one to be needy. I'm not too big into like asking people for things in general. So I was freezing, like absolutely freezing. Found a blanket, thank God, next to me. Your blanket stash was to the left of my chair, and it just wrapped up, and then shortly thereafter passed out. But yeah, your place is unbelievably cold 90% of the time.
Yeah, that's a fact. Delino, you've been there, but let's get to you, though. That's the bigger issue. We've got you. You're our third guest. This is something we've been excited about, was talking to you, because there's so much that we can actually dive into. But before we do that, we got to know, for those that don't know you, who you are, what do you do, what do you, like, let's know a little bit about Delino.
Yeah, where are you from, man?
Delino DeShields, center field for the Texas Rangers.
Hey, hold on. This ain't like your basic interview, bro.
I know.
You don't have to just
I'm giving you a
answer the
breakdown.
questions. Like, I'm Delino DeShields. I'm from Atlanta.
This isn't media day.
No, you're good, man.
Y'all know I'm chill, man. Like, it is what it is. I was born in Easton, Maryland. My parents are from Seaford, Delaware. I don't know how I ended up in Easton, but you know, it is what it is. Grew up in Atlanta. Now I live in Texas full time, but that's pretty much the basis. Got 4 siblings. I'm the oldest, and I have a dog named Blue. It's my son. So
now, is that where the blue hair comes from?
I don't know. When people ask me, I would use that as a reason.
Do you play Fortnite?
Not as much now. I used to be on it pretty heavy, but I don't know. I haven't really been on the sticks that much, to be honest.
Is there a reason why you've slipped away from the gaming world?
I couldn't tell you. I just
tired of losing?
Maybe.
Okay, that happens. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I don't play that game. I can't stand Fortnite. So
Yeah, I have not tried it yet.
Burp out. Let it go. Let the fans hear it, man.
No, that was a solid one for y'all.
But deadly.
So real quick, so you're from Atlanta, Georgia, and obviously everyone knows you play professional baseball. But an interesting fact about you is your dad played professional baseball before you, also coincidentally named Delino DeShields. But are you a Delino DeShields Jr. or just Delino DeShields, not the junior? Let's clear that up.
I mean, I guess in like the baseball world, I would be considered a junior, just so people can, so people know the difference between my dad and myself. But we got different middle names, so I guess I'm technically not a junior.
You heard it first on the Secret Handshake podcast from Delino DeShields.
No junior.
Breaking news.
That's. So you're playing with the Rangers. How many years have you been there?
This will be my 5th season coming up.
I mean, I should know that.
Yeah.
I just had to put that out there.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think technically I didn't know.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. Getting to play with you, watch you, grow through the system and stuff too. And obviously living together, your dad came over quite a bit. That was cool. Getting to experience the baseball, like where it started, and then now it's continuing. You see how the roots continue to go. Like I'm doing the same thing again now with playing with Pudge, and then I got his son Derek. It's on our team, so it's kind of the same thing. I got to do that with you, which is I didn't get to play with your dad. That's the only difference.
Well, I got a question though. When it comes to obviously you weren't playing professional baseball when your dad was, but you were growing up, and I had a couple friends growing up whose dads played pro ball. And what was that like though from your standpoint? Because it's not necessarily like the typical way to grow up. You probably didn't realize that at first. Spending your time at a professional baseball field and stadium, probably a lot of times. But what was that like? Was there a certain point where you kind of realized like, okay, cool, my dad has a little bit different job than everybody else, or all my other friends?
I mean, I kind of understood that from the jump. That was something that my parents, he kind of let us know that we were grateful to be in the position that we were at the time. And it was something that we shouldn't take for granted, and we didn't.
Were you going up to the field a lot as a kid? I mean, were you always there?
No, I was always playing. Like I wanted to go up there sometimes, but
now is that when he was in Montreal?
No, this is throughout his career.
Dodgers?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know he played in Montreal too.
I was just a baby. Like.
So you weren't even.
Yeah, I think he made it to the big leagues in '90. I was born in '92, and that's when that trade happened with Pedro. So I don't remember any of Montreal. Nothing in LA, St. Louis toward the end. Baltimore and Chicago,
But there's no like videos or anything like how you see you play with me and Prince. His kids are in the Clubhouse or Beltray. A great example. You weren't one of those kids that got to go in?
No. Well, yeah. Back in the day, like I used to like bat boy and stuff for the team.
Like, they don't like when it was the Cardinals and stuff. Or
no, this is when he played in Chicago. So I was probably around like 9 or 10 or 11.
Shit.
Yeah, they let kids go get the bats and stuff. They don't do that no more.
Well, they're
Safety
too
hazard.
scared, you know.
Yeah.
Injuries and stuff. I think it was Barry Bonds. Remember when he hit somebody hit the base hit or something like that? And no, it was he used to be the manager of the Reds back in the day, and he came to the Giants too. Gosh dang it, I can't think of his name, but I think it was his son that ran out, and JT Snow picked him up when he was at home plate. And there was going to be a play at the plate. So I think
Oh, yeah.
That scared most of the. You know what I know, but I can't think of the guy's
Yep.
name.
I know what you're talking
I've
about,
seen
though.
him a million times. I know exactly who he is. Dusty Baker. It was his son.
I've done something like that before. Well,
In the middle of a game?
Yeah, before I was a bat boy, I guess there's something like a ball boy, go take the balls to the umpire and stuff like that. And one of the things they told me, I remember this, was if there's a ball, whatever, go get it, bring it back, like a foul ball or something like that. And there was a guy on third base, and the pitcher threw a ball, and the catcher, bounced off him or whatever, went to the backstop, and I went out there to try to get it. And I remember the catcher, like,
Waving you back?
yeah, waving me like, don't come out here. And that was probably I think that was the last time I did that. So I was fired.
Do you think, obviously with this whole, your family, I mean, that's the biggest issue that I was going to bring up was your whole family's athletic. Your mom was wasn't she like a track superstar or something like that? Or
Yeah, she went to Tennessee. She was a heptathlete, qualified for the Olympics in '92. Got pregnant with me, decided not to go.
Way to go, man. Really fuck shit up.
I know.
Ruin that one.
God.
I mean, she says it was the greatest thing that ever happened to her, so I ain't mad about it. But
That's cool. You
Yeah.
guys have a good relationship too. Your family,
Yeah.
like I've seen in the past, like pictures, and then also them being around too. Like you can tell, you guys got a great family. Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of great things going on.
yeah, we're pretty close knit group. I mean, especially like me and my sister. We're closest in age. We spend the most time together.
Give her a shout out, man. Give Diamond some love.
Diamond DeShields,
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know, she's plays for Chicago Sky.
She's been killing it.
Yeah, she's been doing her thing. She's probably the best athlete in the family. I ain't gonna lie.
Dang, taking it away from you?
Yeah, no, he said
not my
that
place.
a while back to me. I mean, she's talented. She played at Tennessee, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, so she went to North Carolina. She, I guess going out throughout high school, she had played in USA and stuff like that. And there were some girls there that she got really close with, and she wanted to kind of go through a program that wasn't a UConn or a Tennessee at the time, and kind of just put them back on the map almost. And so her and 3 other girls who were all in like top 10 in the country decided to go there. Had number 1 recruiting class. Went to the Elite Eight, and they split after that. It was weird.
Up the dynasty.
But yeah, it was weird. After that season, Diamond transferred. Had to sit out a year. Went to Tennessee, where she probably should have been in the first place because my mom went to Tennessee.
Oh wait, so I didn't know that. Okay, so she was somewhere else first. She didn't go straight to Tennessee.
No, she went to North Carolina. And then she was...
Yeah, Derek, he just said that about, 5 seconds ago. Maybe we should pay attention to our guest on the podcast today.
I was paying attention. Fool.
Yeah, so she won. She was a freshman of the year, national freshman of the year, AC freshman of the year, and then just kind of dipped. But she got her own reasons, and she went to Tennessee, had a good time, but she had another year eligibility left. She didn't take it. She went overseas to play in Turkey, and then got drafted number 3 overall in the draft last year. So,
Did she ever talk to you about like that experience of being overseas? I mean, it's something. If you think about it, like we haven't had that kind of opportunity. I mean, we've had the opportunity to, but we haven't needed to technically go over there. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
we got lucky to be here.
Right. Yeah, she kind of talked to us about it a little bit. I think she had a really good experience. It's very different. The food, she said, had no flavor. She used to having like, soul food from grandma and mom. She said it was just very plain, it was actually kind of scary at times. And she said there was a bus that blew up right outside her apartment complex, and
Wow.
yeah, she was just like, it was hit or miss for her, but she she made the most out of it, did what she had to do, and now she plays in the WNBA. So
Wow.
I like that though.
Have you gotten to go to any of her WNBA games yet?
Well,
Bad brother.
Yeah. What's up with that, bro?
they play during the summer. They play during the summertime. So
That's true.
actually, it just clashes with our season. But when she got drafted to the Sky, she threw out the first pitch in Chicago, and we just so happened to be playing the White Sox at the time, and so she got to see me play that game, and then after that, she was busy doing her thing.
Are you pretty excited about that moment to kind of see her for the first time, like playing in the WNBA, like in person?
Say it again.
I said, are you pretty excited to get to see that first time where you're witnessing her play as a WNBA player, in person? Like that's got to be a crazy feeling to like watch, your sibling kind of grow up interested in a sport. Obviously, you play a professional sport, but to watch your sibling kind of get to do that's got to feel pretty special and unique when you get to watch that from the outside.
Yeah, no. I mean, the only time I really can watch it is on TV, unless we just so happen to be in the same city and I have an off day or something.
Right.
But that's just
Have you
a timing thing.
Have you looked at the schedule by any chance? Like, hey, maybe there's a chance that we might run into her.
Last year I did, and she came to Dallas a couple times, and one of the times we were there, but they had played at night, and we had a night game, so that didn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to let you, hey, go ahead and skip this.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
It's such a cool thing. Like, that's my question is, like, now that you guys are both playing, professional, you got a brother too, right?
Yeah.
You have a brother. Now, is he going to be like you guys as well? And the only reason why I ask is because now I'm wondering what your parents do in that situation when, hey, they're both playing.
right. Whose game are we going to?
Who is the favorite child?
Or I don't know if it's favorite child or is it who's got the better seats for us tonight?
That's true.
So I have a little brother. His name is D'Angelo. I call him Jello. We call him Jello, like family.
Okay.
He hates it, but funny story with that. My sister wanted to name him Jello, and
actual name Jello?
Yeah, like actual real life first name, birth certificate, Jello.
Oh wow. Okay.
My mom was
There you
like,
go.
No, and so that's how D'Angelo came, because it had Jello in his name, so it just kind of worked out.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, he doesn't play sports. He's really into photography, and like he's very an artsy person, but he's bigger than me. Like, I mean, he works out a lot. He's swole. Like, he could probably go. Yeah, he's taller than me. He could probably go on a football field and be the best athlete on the field if he wanted to.
Wow.
He just he just don't got that desire to go out there and do it. So, but
does he take pictures of you guys when you guys are playing?
No, he just started doing that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how soon or how early he was doing it.
Yeah, no. Actually, I bought this Fujifilm X-T2 camera.
It's a nice camera.
Years ago, because I was going. Yeah,
I was gonna say, hey, he knows cameras.
Yeah,
you telling me, and I'm like,
It's
that's like one of those little scrolls. Throw it away.
Right.
definitely not disposable.
I went to the camera store and I was like, man, I want a really nice camera. I'm gonna be on it a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I went to Jamaica, used it for like a week, and it kind of had just been sitting in my house forever. And then he was telling me about he wanted to get in photography and all this. And I was like, well, shit, I got this camera, so I just kind of gave it to him, and yeah, he got lucky with that one because that
was the come up right there, man. That's what that was. That was a major come up.
Yeah.
But that's to me though, photography has been cool. Like my mom does it too. She likes to get into that, take some pictures and stuff. And I mean, I think it's pretty wild what you can get out of those pictures, like how clear a lot of those shots are. Or like for instance, my mom got a picture of a bee. I feel like Step Brothers. Put liquid paper on a bee. No, it was, my mom was like taking a picture, and the bee was flying into, I don't know what it was, probably a plant at the time, obviously. And it was just so cool because you could see like how the wings were like, they weren't moving. Like it looked so crazy that like he's in place, like he's about to go in and do his thing. And you got to see like the action shot of it just sitting there, which was cool. I mean, it's to me, I don't know how to describe it without it like.
Without
you, cool thing to look at.
It sounded. You kind of reminded me of Zoolander when you were talking about it just now. Like, it's this really cool, like student center for kids who can't read very good. That's kind of what it reminded me of just now. But
oh yeah, it's Dorrough Leap. I'm not gonna say the rest of it. Yeah, that might be a little too much.
I did. I did have to mark the last. I should have done this on the first 2 podcasts. When we upload them, it asks me if it's a clean or if it's an explicit content podcast. And so you have said a bad word a couple times on the podcast, Derek, and I've marked it as clean. But on the last one, I was like, if I don't start marking this explicit, at some point they're gonna like flag our account because we're teaching all these young adolescent kids that listen to our podcast bad words via Major League Baseball player Derek Holland.
Shit. Get that cleaned up.
Yeah, because
yep.
No,
yep.
You go first.
No, it's all right.
No,
I was going to take over again. I kind of want to get your thoughts. I know we're going to talk baseball for a second, but what's your thoughts for this year? What can we expect to see out of Delino? I've been playing with you, and I've always loved watching you play. The way you get after it, like you're always competing. There's no rollover, is the way I want to put it. And like, especially when I got to face you, like that was cool. Like, yeah. I'm facing one of my good friends. Like I live with you. Like we were roommates. Like we were buddies. And here I am. I got the fucking. Oh, dropped another one. I got
there we go.
Book, bro. I'm sorry. I got to say that, I gave you the ticket.
I almost put you in my book too. Almost.
That's all right. Wind was blowing in Chicago. But I mean, what can we expect from you? Like, I know there's big things coming from you. I know.
Yeah. No, I've been, every offseason I come in, I'm working hard, and I just want just a fair opportunity to go out there and play every day. Like don't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? Just let me be myself. And with the people that we brought in, I feel really good about what they are expecting of me as far as just letting me go play. And I know if I just go out there and play and have fun, and I'm confident that, I get to the field and be in a lineup every day, like there's no limit for me. I can go out there and be excited and, steal 130 bases. No, no. I'm just kidding. That's a lot. But,
no, but the thing is, you are a threat, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing that everybody knows. It's even when we played you when I was with the White Sox, in the scouting report, this guy gets on, he's going. Like, it's common sense. It's just like me saying, like, if I'm pitching to somebody, they already know I'm going to pitch inside.
Right.
It's the same thing with you. You can freaking fly.
Right.
Like, he's a threat. He could bunt on you. He can hit it down the line on you. He can hit it anywhere. He can hit. If he makes contact, you got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's the truth about you.
Right. And the thing, like, I kind of been, I don't want to say brainwashed because that's not the right word, but I was so convinced that I was so valuable to get on base that I was going to the plate, like, trying to just walk, you know what I'm saying, instead of going up there and hitting first, like good hitters do. I was kind of doing the opposite, and, it hurt me a little bit. So, as far as that goes, that mindset is just going to flip a little bit.
What about with the mindset of, and I'm only speaking on this because I've been there, injuries. You got hurt, and I know it's something you can't control. Obviously, That's what I wish a lot of people would understand is it's not like you went out there and was like, today?
Yeah, exactly.
The only way that could be possible, though, is if you went and you did something to really put yourself in a position.
Right.
but you definitely weren't. You know, you're out there
Yeah.
competing, you're doing your thing, and you know, accidents happen. Like it's a freak accident.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your mindset in that now? Like, how do you feel? You think you're where you need to be? I mean, it is spring training. Remember, like, even if you said, no, I'm not exactly where I want, there's still, the reason why I say that is because spring training is the time to get, hey, this is it. This is bear down. Because now you're actually facing people.
Yeah.
You can actually work on timing, whereas you did your whole workout conditioning.
Right. Well, like last year, I told myself I was playing every day. I wanted to play 173 games. That's, you know, always been my goal. And I didn't prepare for injuries to happen. So, like, second game of the season, I broke my hamate bone, like, random, out of nowhere.
That was off a pitch, right?
So I tried to come back. No, that was just swinging.
Oh, just swinging? Okay.
I swung, and I fouled off a ball, was down and in, and my whole hand just started feeling tingly, and I just kind of ignored it. It took some time to get back in the box, but I finished the game. Ended up walking, which was so bizarre.
What do you want to do? Oh, Southpaw?
No.
I thought that's what you said. I was like, wait, what?
No, Joe Smith was pitching, actually, for Houston. And clearly, like, my hand is messed up. And he just threw me, like, 4 straight balls. I was like, thank you. No. I'm not swinging the bat. But anyway, got on first base. Joey hit a double. I scored. And we ended up winning the game. But, so I broke my hamate bone. Came back in 3 weeks, probably too soon. Those things take like 4 to 6 weeks. But I wanted to get back out there with my guys and play. And, you know, shortly after that, I turned around the butt, and there was a two-seamer. There's a guy for the Angels. I thought it was like 98. Two-seam up and in. Ball raining on me, cracked my finger, the tip of my middle finger. So that had me out for like another 2-3 weeks. So it was just a bunch of like freakish things that you don't think about. Like when I like during the offseason, I prepare my muscles and my body to not, you know, I don't have, like strain my hamstring or, you know, like those kind of things. You don't prepare for the freakish things that happen.
Right.
Right.
So, the only reason why I asked about it is because, like, you know, I was hurt for 3 years, and it gets lonely, man. Being on the DL, you get a little depressed. You know, you don't feel like you're a part of the team. So, and I don't remember you being hurt before this year.
Right.
So I don't know if there was, but it's just like you got to experience that lonely island, as I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure, like, not only as a friend, but somebody that cares, like making sure that mindset, you're back where you need to be because we know what you're capable of. And
right.
Yeah, I get it. We're enemies and all that now, but at the end of the day, you want everybody to be successful too.
Yeah. No, you just got to understand that it's a process and take that for what it is. When stuff like that happens, you just got to take it day by day. That's probably the biggest thing dealing with injuries. Just
well, you've been working hard too, just in the off season in terms of just. I mean, from what you've told me, I mean, every week you've got the team workouts and you've got, you know, your own personal guy that you work with too. So I mean, you've been putting in some work.
Yeah, I always put in the work because you play every day for 6 months out the year. So like,
yep.
Shoot, you might as well count spring training too.
Right.
You know, it's just 5 innings. You know, most of the
that's
time
true.
You guys do. It's a lot of
it's a lot of games every day. So you got to put in that work during the off season and you know, just try to prepare your body as best you can for that. For the long season, especially in the Texas heat, like that's not fun. It's pretty brutal.
Well, you got a roof coming soon.
Yeah, that's true.
But I want to bring something up because this is something that I think is unreal that what you did. So playing with Andrew McCutcheon,
Mm-hmm.
He has a thing that he does every time he runs the bases, tips his hat, strikeout, whatever it is, he always tips his hat. And the reason that he does that is because of what Jackie Robinson did. Is there anything that you do that's similar besides, I know you've got the artwork and stuff, which we're going to talk to literally right after you tell us if there's something that you do as well at a tribute. Like, you know, obviously you have the tribute of Jackie on your leg. Mm-hmm. Did you do anything on the field that you feel that is something that is unique to you or to
or it kind of
Negro Leagues or anything like that?
Well, and I real quick, I feel like we can kind of tie this in a little further, Derek, with All right, so on the last episode, we had Dorrough, and the question came up, before Dorrough goes on stage, is there like a ritual or anything that he does every time? And then, Derek, we asked you the same question. And I even remember Dorrough saying, he was like, man, that's one hell of a, routine that you do before. Like, Derek has the most elaborate pregame routine all the way down to what he eats like the night before. Do you have like, and he's calling it kind of a tribute or like an on-field thing, but what's kind of like your daily process on a game day, that you go through? Like, what are the steps for you to get ready? Is there anything special, anything superstitious? What does that look like for you?
I feel for me, it always kind of changes. Like, I don't know, there's not really anything specific before the game that I do. I try to stay away from superstitions because we play in so many different places, and like some things we might have at home that we might not have somewhere else. So I just try to avoid that. But like during the game, or even before, I've always done this, but I don't step on the white line.
Yeah, same.
I think that's a given, though. I think that's something that, I think a lot of people, because I don't touch it.
I think that's universal in baseball. It's universal.
Yeah, but there's some people that don't care though. And
that's true.
And then I don't know, I feel some type of way.
Yeah,
especially with his teammates or whatever. But yeah, so that's something that I just never done. I'll go in, or before like my bat, I'll do a little cross thing and I'll kiss my bat, like the barrel of the bat. I don't know why. I
know something else that you do. This is the show that I was a good teammate. When Chu was there, well, Chu's still there. Sorry, I shouldn't say it like he's not. You guys always hugged. You were the leadoff guy.
Yeah.
And you guys hugged every time before you went up. Like, you made sure, like, catcher threw it down a second. You waited. Music came on. Okay, now we're good. And you got the hug.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like my pops. He's
that's the Korean kid right there.
Right. Korean
what
kid.
What a teammate.
Yeah. Chu's great, man.
So that's something. Yeah, that's something that we do. We have our own like little handshake with our finger.
Oh, little finger shake.
Yeah,
finger time.
Yeah, it's like a slide in a dap. Like
that might have to be another additional step that we add into the secret handshake that we do. Little finger element in there.
Right. And after the games, I give everybody hand hugs.
Hand hugs?
Yeah.
Is that like this?
Like this? Well, it'd be backwards.
It'd be like this.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's from
I don't
something.
know. That's something.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that's from, but I've got a couple people who I've shown the hand hug to, because I've done the hand hug for a while, probably since high school, and a lot of people think it's hilarious. I've had 2 or 3 people, one in particular, her name's Joan, who is not a fan of the hand hug. It totally weirds her out, and like she makes it a thing. So I don't do it anymore with her, but I've always been a personal fan of it. There's some people, though, not a fan of the hand hug. Just remember that, Delino, when you move forward in your hand hugging.
I think the one thing people don't like is a dead fish.
That's a fact. I will say that. That sucks.
Yeah.
You go to shake somebody's hand, you got the firm handshake. Your hands are inflated.
Doug
That's
Roquel,
great.
He was our pitching coach for a little bit, and he hated it. And I used to,
that guy.
Yeah, me too. But I used to give him the dead fish all the time. He used to, get ready to pull his guns out and go ham.
There we go.
One thing before we hear about your tribute, can we get a shout out to Jolly Ranchers? This kid's about to eat half a freaking bag already.
I know.
Man.
I heard you going to get the candy right before we started, and then I've been watching the whole time, and like your cheek has just been loaded up the entire podcast so far with just straight Jolly Rancher actions.
This was a bad idea. It's not good for my body.
We might have to do like a contest. Like, how many Jolly Ranchers did Delino eat?
Yeah.
A free hoodie.
Yeah.
The number.
Free.
You got to keep doing what you got to do. You got to eat your Jolly Rancher. That's his superstition right there. He's nervous. So
hey, we might be looking at our. We might be looking at our very first show sponsor. Shout out to Jolly Rancher. Let's cut that check for the show.
But now that we gave our shout out, I do want to hear. I want to know like how this this came about, the Jackie Robinson tattoo. I know you.
So are you talking about?
I've even talked about it.
Derek, are you talking about the video that he just dropped?
Well, there's that, but he's also got the tattoo of Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, but that's what the video is about. Did you not watch it?
Yes, I watched it. I saw him in his king's chair and everything. I got the whole thing. Because we even gave him when he came in here. So Head was here.
Yeah,
and Head was saying, "Dude, why didn't you put Blue in front of him?"
That would have been
dope. I mean, think about it.
That would have been epic.
Let's hold on. No. We're gonna get back to the Jackie Robinson. Let's talk about Blue. We gotta give Blue some love. I mean, he's
right.
Yeah, Blue is massive.
Monster dog.
Yeah.
Intimidating.
You're right.
Let's. Where did this come about? Where did you get Blue?
So I followed this page on Instagram, Bossy Kennels, for a long time, and I took a hiatus from social media for like 7 months in 2015.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I wasn't really into it at the time, but I took a hiatus, wasn't on it. And I had logged into my account in like September, at beginning of September, and I had been just wanting a dog. Like it was just kind of weighing on my heart, you know what I mean? And logged on Instagram, and the first thing that popped up was Bossy Kennels, Blue, and
was he already named Blue?
No, I can't remember the name that they gave him. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, he was the first thing that I saw on my news feed, and I was like, this is a sign, you know. And right away, DM'd him and got him like probably a day after that. Paid for him. They flew him out to me, and, you know, the rest is history.
Damn.
Man,
how big is Blue? Like, for those that don't know about Blue, like,
well, he's a pit bull, right? Is he a full blood pit bull?
Yeah.
Or I guess,
American
purebred, I guess is probably the best way to say it.
Yeah.
I thought he was a straight up pit bull.
I mean,
is he a combo? A little mix?
No, he's no mix.
Was this Google?
No, his head though is one of the biggest heads I've ever seen just in general. I mean, his head is like bigger than my whole body, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's why people think he really is bigger than what he is, because his body is big, but his head, when you first see him, is like, holy shit. Like,
yeah, but he's the nicest dog. The thing is like he's so big. I mean, his whole body's huge, but he really is still kind of like a puppy in a sense. And he doesn't. I don't think he knows how he's throwing his weight around and how powerful he is, because he'll run right into you, super excited to see you when you get to your place, and you better be ready, like stand your ground, because he's gonna knock you over.
He's over here showing videos right now of other pits. This dog was just chilling, and all of a sudden he just spazzed out. Like,
yeah,
but that's like, it's kind of like with Blue, like being around him. So he used to play with Wrigley all the time, but now Wrigley's like old man, like he can't handle it.
Right.
Yeah. That dog would knock him down.
He couldn't handle it before either.
But yeah, that's true. It's very true. But the thing about Blue that I noticed, even when he was living with us, this dog thinks he's a lap dog. Like, this is not a lap dog. This is not Bruce by any means.
No.
Like at least 100-pound dog.
Well, pit bull,
oh, dude, he's got to be way over 100.
Need attention
easily.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't weighed him in a long time, but he's just a very needy dog. Like,
yeah,
love and affection.
Right. You have to give those dogs attention, because if you don't, then that's when they become aggressive and they'll lash out, and that's when bad things happen.
Well, I think on like with what you're saying to that though, Delino, is like pit bulls my entire life have always had, and you guys I know have heard this, that stereotype that they're bad dogs and they're not, you know, they're dangerous and don't have them around kids and all that type of stuff. And then my, you know, two best friends growing up, my childhood best friends, they were living together at the time, and they both got pit bulls, one named Dirk and one named Romo. And that was my first real experience with pit bulls. They have to be some of the friendliest dogs I've ever come across. And it's been like that with every pit bull that I've encountered, including Blue. So, I mean, I feel like that's, for whatever reason, it just sucks. But kind of what you were saying, Derek, obviously you gotta give love and attention to every dog, because all dogs are craving that. Really, all animals are craving that in general. Right. But the thing is when those pit bulls get a bad rap, usually that comes from like abuse type situations where they're actually trained to be like that, or completely neglected to the point where they really don't have a good reference point when it comes to human beings and how they treat them. It's not a naturally occurring thing going on there.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that big time. I think every dog just wants the attention. Something he just showed me too that you couldn't see was that's an Instagram post, right? Or a picture.
Yeah.
It's basically saying how like people view a pit bull, and it shows like a pit bull is just standing there and it looks intimidating, but yet there's a picture right below it of a pit bull in a blanket and everything, just basically being like one of the cutest things in the world, just trying to get some attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the big issue is people take that perspective of what a pit bull is, that they think it's something automatically. It's dangerous. This thing's a killer. Like it's not. They don't give it a chance to, to show that it's not. They expect it that, man, I just met a pit bull. This thing's gonna eat me alive.
Right. Well, it just sucks that it's like. Sorry, Delino.
Walking down the street. No, you good. I'll be walking my dog down the street, and people be walking theirs, and they'll pick their dog up or walk across the street and like just completely neglect him from interacting because they're afraid that he might react to something. But he don't even he barely even barks. Like
he doesn't even care.
No, he just be chilling, just straight chilling.
Yeah,
he might
with you. That's all that matters.
Right, he'll sniff you, whatever, see what's up, and then after that, he goes about his own business. So
he's got like a mind of his own.
Yeah, he reminds me of myself, to be honest. Except for I don't go around smelling people.
I don't do all that. It's the dog way to do it, man. Just think though, if we lived in that society to where we walked around and smell each other's butts just to say hello.
And
right, you see you.
And you heard it first on the Secret Handshake podcast with Delino DeShields and Derek Holland.
Butts is how we say hello. It's crazy. But I know we sidetracked talking about Blue. But something I kind of wanted to ask, too, is like a memory that's going to stand out for you. As an athlete, what was it like, your first major league hit? Better yet, even your first major league appearance. Do you remember?
Yeah. So I was a Rule 5 guy from Houston.
So hold on, before you go, because
okay, people don't know what that is. All right.
Yeah.
So what the Rule 5 is so there's two different categories of people. There's the people who sign out of high school. You have 5 years until you're eligible for this Rule 5 draft. And if you come out of college, it's 4. And I got drafted out of high school, so I played, I guess, a total of.
What round did you get drafted in?
5 seasons. I was a first rounder.
Bonus, baby.
Can someone pick up that draft round off the ground? I think he said first.
Oh yeah, he did. Did. That means he's rich.
This is a this is a fun fact.
It is a fun fact. You got money.
Listen. We're talking about first round. So my father and I were the first father-son duo to get drafted the first round out of high school.
Wow.
It's a fun fact.
That's a big deal.
My sisters got drafted in the first round, too. So now we have 3 first-rounders in our family.
That's a first-round family.
That's really cool.
It's never happened between, a dad, son, and a daughter before.
Has it ever happened between just a father and son?
I think the Mannings, they all went in the first round, I think.
Who?
The Mannings.
Was Eli?
Maybe.
Eli was a first rounder? Yeah.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. You're a sports guy. So let's go to you with more sports knowledge.
Yeah, so that's a fun fact. But
that's actually really freaking cool, though.
Yeah.
To think about that, and then also to hear, obviously, your sister.
Well, that's a family legacy type of thing. That's like one of those. You're probably like the only one. Who else gets to say that? It's a pretty cool story to get to pass on, for generations to come. In your family, be like, my great-great-granddad and his kids, they were all first-round draft picks, you know? Like, what did your great-great-granddad do?
That's tight. Yeah, so my first major league appearance, I was a Rule 5 guy, and I'll go back to that. So at the end of this process of, you know, playing in minor leagues and being eligible for this draft, the team who you with, they have an option to put you on their 40-man roster or not. So when they don't put you on the 40-man, that's when you're just like kind of free game from somebody else to kind of select you. And Houston, they didn't protect me. They didn't put me on their 40-man, and the Rangers scooped me up. And so that's how I was with Texas. So pretty much I had to make the team out of spring training, and if I didn't make the team, I had to go back to Houston. And, you know, kind of being like a first rounder and kind of having the dream of playing with the team that you get drafted by. So them kind of just letting me slide, I felt some type of way about it. And I told myself I ain't going back. Like, I'm not dealing with it. And so I came in camp, made the team, and opening day we were playing in Oakland. It was freezing. I'll never forget. And we were getting our butts whooped first game of the season. And Leonis was playing center field, and you know, Skip took him out and was like, "Hey, go out there," you know, sitting on the bench all day, freezing my butt off. Go out there, first at bat. I was facing Dan Otero, and you know, he's a huge sinker ball pitcher. Mm-hmm. And like in Oakland, there's not a place where you can go and like warm up.
Okay.
So you can't, you don't go. There's no like cage that you can go hit and warm up. You can't run a sprint or nothing. You just got to go out there and hang with them. So pretty much I hit a typical Delino hit, chopper, and there was no throw because, you know, I was zooming down the line. And that was my first hit in the big leagues. But, you know, I didn't feel nervous or anything, I guess because my dad played and I had always expected myself to be there.
It's got to feel good to kind of get it over with, though, right? Like in terms of like, okay, got the first hit out of the way. Now I can kind of relax. Because at the end of the day, even though you know you're supposed to be there, it's just nice to just cross that off the list, all right? First hit, done. Don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
I mean, some guys, it takes a little bit of time. So for you to be able to knock it out just to get hey, it's done. Like now we can just be ourselves, be at ease. Because I think the pressure comes down to always getting that first hit. Because you know, you see everybody else doing it. It's like, man, I got to do this. I want to be a part of it. That's the big thing.
I mean, my first start was Jackie Robinson Day in 2015.
That's pretty sick.
I mean, I kind of expected it to happen because I'm black, you know. Throw me out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a day game. We were playing Houston. We were at home.
I'll play Houston.
We were playing Houston, yeah. And then trying to think what the first homer was sick.
Well, let's hear about it. If it was sick, I mean, you can't just say that and not tell us.
Well, my first homer was the day before my birthday, August 16th. So on August 15th, there was a lot of people that I grew up with from high school and stuff. They came out and for the weekend to celebrate my birthday with me. So there's a lot of people there for the game, and we were losing 3-2 in the seventh or in the eighth inning, seventh or eighth inning, and I got into a 3-1 count. And I was like, man, I'm just gonna let it eat right here. I hadn't hit a homer the whole time. This is like in August, so from January to August, nothing. And the guy threw a pitch. It would have been a ball if I took it. Probably would have hit me in my face. It was so up and in.
Man.
And I just turned on it. Like, hands was quick like lightning. And, hit my first homer. It was a bomb.
So the second it hit your bat, you knew it was out?
Yeah, it was one of those ones where you just don't feel it.
Yeah, that's the best feeling, man. When you don't feel it at all.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I don't know any of that.
It's such a specific feeling though. Like when that happens, because I remember when I was playing, and if you could recreate that feeling every time that you're at bat, you obviously would. But it's just it hits that sweet spot, and it's as if you didn't even touch the ball. That's how good you hit it.
Right. It feels like if you're hitting a bouncy ball or something.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, you don't. I mean, I've hit homers in BP.
Right.
Obviously, I'm hitting now.
You've hit a home run in BP before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
Count. Like, it doesn't do anything.
Well,
I got a video for it. I'll put it up. We're going to post the video on your. We're going to share that today. We're going to share that in our secret handshake Instagram.
This is with San Francisco?
As a picture. Yeah, it was it was actually in San Diego.
Okay.
And it was a bomb, which you'll see the actual video.
Okay.
Okay, well, where I hit it, it was going out anyway. The thing is, as a pitcher, we got to give up home runs because there's a lot of kids in the stands. They need souvenirs.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on. Is that what you're going to tell your teammates?
No, that's not what I'm trying to do. It's not what you want, but,
Right.
I'm not going to lie, though. When I've given up a homer, I've definitely looked at them. I definitely, looked at where they go. The only thing that I would say kind of upsets me, but I don't even really get too mad because I'm the one that made the mistake anyway, is when a guy does hit a homer and he pimps the shit out of it and it barely clears the wall.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Like,
that's the worst.
You hit a bomb. Hey, pimp the shit out. If you want to do cartwheels and backflips around the bases,
go for it, right?
Because I'm the idiot that served it up to you. That's how I see it. Like,
no, I agree with you.
I'm not going to get all defensive and pissed off. Like, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not out there trying to serve them up by any means. But, man, you serve it up, I'm going to look at it too.
You know who's the king of pimping balls that don't even go over the fence? Take a guess. Old teammate of yours. Teammate of mine, though.
Does he play for the Rangers right now?
No, we clown him about it, though, all the time.
Oh, then I'm going to go with Odor.
No.
Oh, yeah, you got
Elvis.
Elvis. I'll never forget, Beltre would wear him out all the time about hitting the ball, and he would think he got it, and he'd come back in saying, I just missed that one.
Or hit the wall, and he only get a double out of it, or something like that.
Beltre would wear him out.
Yeah.
I remember there's video of it, too, him just standing there and staring at him, and he's, like, laughing the whole time. Like, it's funny. Beltre's not.
That's great.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's great.
Yeah, but the homers that I've hit in my career, there's been a couple of them that have been like guaranteed homer, like no doubters. And I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed that shit like to the max, pimped it. So Sammy Sosa was one of my idols growing up.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
You did the Sammy Sosa hop?
I did the hop, tossed the bat. Like it was just like unconscious. It was something that it was like, I did it a lot growing up because, like I said, he was my idol or one of my idols. And my dad played with him in Chicago. And when I was little, I hit a homer, do the hop, run on the base. It's something simple.
Why not do Ricky Henderson, though? I loved watching how he ran around the bases. He got popped that collar.
Yeah,
Ricky was such a show off, man. Even in the outfield, just the way he would do the basket catch and all that. I mean, he was definitely one of those guys like showing out on the field at the same time as playing.
Yeah, I mean,
he backed it up though. He backed it up. I loved watching him.
Oh, he was great.
Exciting player, but he had that swag and that confidence like no other, like Dion almost.
Prime time.
Yeah.
Two-way players.
Right.
Hey, you don't see anything like that though.
Nope.
No, they just debuted Deion Sanders. They just debuted at the Super Bowl his ESPN 30 for 30 that I think is about to come out, and it's talking about how he played, in the Super Bowl and the World Series. He's the only player to ever do that. It's crazy looking. Like the trailer that I saw looks dope, but it just shows the whole story from him going from the football field, hopping in a helicopter to a private jet to the baseball game. And I don't know. That's pretty epic. You definitely. I don't know if you'll ever see anything like that ever again.
Right.
Yeah. I mean him or Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson too.
Bo, I think between the two, who do you think is the better that freakish athlete? Because Bo
Jackson, 100%.
Okay.
I mean, Deion was
some people.
Deion was a good athlete. No, I'll take that back. Deion was a really good athlete, but Bo Jackson,
that's a freak.
Yeah, I mean, if his injuries didn't cut him short, he would have for sure. I don't know, from a running back's perspective, like when he was with Oakland.
But I mean, the body. I don't know if the body can hold up. That's a beatdown. Football itself is a beatdown. Those dudes are getting crushed.
Yeah, 100%.
He was playing games with them. Like
it was like a video game.
Yeah,
it wasn't
seriously. It was just like, I mean, granted, I didn't grow up watching him play, but when I watch highlights and stuff like that, it's just like Bo being Bo, like just incredible. And then he go up there and hit a baseball 500 feet like it's nothing.
That's a fact.
And then run up the wall like Spider-Man and shit. Like
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yep. Well,
you don't see anything like that.
No. We're just while we're on the topic, we're talking about some players of the past, and Derek, you mentioned it earlier, but Delino, you just this past week dropped a video that we found out Derek didn't watch any of, apparently, but you dropped a video this past week, and kind of break that down for us. What was the video about? It was in the video. I know it was just a snippet, but what's kind of like the big picture, like when the whole video comes out, and let's talk about that a little bit.
So every offseason, I for at least the past like 4, I've done like really big, elaborate, like tattoos on my body. Just, because right after the season, you usually have some time to kill before, training starts up. And last year I did my back. I did a whole back piece. And this year, I'll take it back a little bit. During the season, I was looking at myself in the mirror, and, I realized I was really top heavy, and I had like, my chest tatted, my side, my back, my arm, and then nothing below the waist, and it just looked funny to me. So,
well, top heavy.
I was like, I got to balance it out. Yeah, I got to balance it out, and so I just decided to go in and get my whole leg done. Spent 70 hours on it. Yeah,
70 hours under the needle.
Yep. And it's a dedication to the Negro Leagues. And
that's the Jackie Robinson too with it as
well
too.
Well, Jackie played with the Monarchs.
Right.
And the Monarchs were
all that together.
Yeah. Monarchs were the most dominant team, in the Negro Leagues back in the day. And and then I have Josh
Did
Gibson,
Cool Papa Bell also play for the Monarchs, or was he on a different team?
No, he was on a different team.
Okay.
But, Cool Papa Bell. Those 4 guys were like my guys that I grew up with. That, like I caught because of Josh Gibson for a little bit. My dad was like, "You gotta stop because, you're gonna you can do a lot of damage to your legs. Well, really not damage, but
it's not like the healthiest thing."
Right. And Satchel Paige is Satchel Paige. And Cool Papa Bell, my dad called. Well, ever since I can remember, my nickname for him is Papa, and he calls me Papa because of Cool Papa Bell. So
that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
That's kind of where that came from, and I actually have my dad's rookie card tattooed in there because he was my inspiration behind the whole thing. My dad was, I want to say, he was the first guy to wear his pants up in dedication to the Negro Leagues. Like the baggy pants up.
Like they called him. It's kind of like, I would say for somebody that hasn't seen him, it kind of looks like what's those golf pants? Like knickers. Like the ones that are kind of rolled. They're baggy. They're over your knees. Yeah. For those that don't know,
right.
Like it's something to give them a close example.
Right.
I mean, obviously.
Right, but my dad would do that with the stirrups too. So, obviously I had to throw him in there as
you should.
Yeah.
That's like your role model though too.
Right.
If you went all the way down to it.
Yeah, I mean.
But so for those that, because obviously we can't see it right now, we'll have to pull it up when we put it up on the Instagram. for those that are so like everything that's on your leg, what all could they see specifically?
What do you mean? Like if I had shorts on, or if
Yeah, if somebody came up and said,
So let me help Derek. let me help Derek out with this question real quick. What tattoos are on your leg right now?
that's what I was.
Good. Hey, it's sometimes you just gotta simplify it, man.
So okay, on the bottom of my leg, the ankle, the front part of my shin, at the bottom is Josh Gibson. He's kind of down in like a catcher position, and then if you move over to like the outside of my calf, it's Satchel Paige, and you work on the back, it's Jackie Robinson, and then on the inside part of my calf is Cool Papa Bell, and you know we did like some mural stuff for that, and you know I try to get their signatures in there, like authentic signatures. I thought that would be a cool little mix in, and right in the middle it says, you know, established 1920, and like this old font, which is kind of cool to me.
Like old English or like a different?
No.
When you said old, that's the only reason it came to my mind.
Yeah.
God, that's like
It's kind of hard to put. It just looks vintage.
I get you.
Oh, okay. And then on my kneecap, I have Negro League on the kneecap, and you can really, I mean, you can see it, but you can really see it when I bend my knee. You know, kind of it stands out. And then on the back, I have Mind Over Matter. I think I love that.
So
You know,
I think the cool thing is you've got, obviously you dropped the great timing, by the way, dropping the Jackie Robinson little teaser video on Jackie Robinson's birthday. Pretty solid, which was what was it, the 31st of January, I think would have been his 100th birthday. Yep. Right?
Yep. And so it's actually just really good timing. I didn't even plan that to happen.
You should say you did.
Nah, I ain't even gonna take credit for that. But I wanted to do this, and then it just so happened that Jackie Robinson's 100th birthday was January 31st, and it was just like a perfect opportunity, especially going into Black History Month, and actually I had something set up for Black History Month throughout the month, kind of talking about, you know, different parts of my leg and significance behind it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then on the side of my leg, I have just some pictures, just some old pictures, kind of like in stamps almost, to, you know, just give a different look. And I have my favorite Negro League teams, like kind of just sporadically do the Atlanta Black Crackers. I just think that's just an ironic name. Yeah.
That's the thing about like even minor league teams. We have some unique names.
Oh yeah, and they're getting more unique as we continue to go on. Every year it's like, you know, something crazy. I can't even.
How they come up with all this stuff?
Yeah, it's just like ridiculous, but it makes it fun. Obviously, you don't want to name a team the Black Crackers no more. I mean, you could.
What it was. I mean, it's not. It's not a big deal.
Right.
I know. I'm sure somebody would get offended by it.
Yeah. No. 100%. 100%. But
it's not. But that's the thing. Is like, it's not something we should really worry about. I mean, at the time we should. We're going out there playing the game. We're having fun.
Yeah.
You look at some of these minor league teams. Like, for instance, one that sticks out to me is the Montgomery Biscuits.
Right.
Like, I mean, come on, it's a name. Like,
yeah.
That is a serious name right there.
Did you know that one?
No, I've never heard that one before. The Montgomery Biscuits. I definitely want a jersey from them.
You should look at the top 10 like minor league names or something. I'm sure you can find something like that. They're
look
pretty.
At their hats too.
Yeah.
Yeah, minor league does have some epic hats. I have seen some good ones.
I'm about to look real quick.
Another thing that I want to bring up too is obviously talking about the Negro League. Obviously, when we played with Kansas City, something that we could go do was go to the Negro League Museum. How often do you go and check that out, or do you, or does any of that stuff kind of, are you you into that? I mean, it's obviously history. You want to know what was going on and stuff. Do you check that kind of stuff out?
Yeah, for me, it was important for me to go check it out. So the first time we went there, you know, I just kind of went there by myself just to you know, check it out. And obviously, I kind of already knew a lot about the Negro League just by growing up on it. And
Right.
but there's a lot that I didn't know that I learned by going to the museum.
What's something? Is there something that sticks out to you that you're like, holy cow, I didn't know this?
There was a woman that pitched in the Negro Leagues.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. But, you know, that was a long time ago. But, yeah, so there was a woman that pitched in the Negro League. And, yeah, so, I mean, I try to go as much as I can, at least one time when I go there. So, you know, it's pretty meaningful, so.
It just made me think, like, this is kind of random, but remember that girl that she pitched in the Little League World Series, had the knuckleball, I think, or no, what did she throw? Maybe she was just throwing gas.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think she might have been just blowing
it by guys. I'm wondering, and I think it's something that we could see it, you know, one day or something like that, is that there's going to be a female that's trying to break into the MLB.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's something that's, I mean, it's, you know, they're all heading in that direction, like they're all trying to get into the sports. I think it'd be interesting to see how that would go down.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very possible. Or, you know.
Anything's possible, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, this day and age, I would say anything is possible is probably more true than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely has to be the right person. Kind of like with Jackie coming in and breaking that color barrier.
Somebody, I mean, look at, like, for instance, somebody that came into NASCAR, Danica Patrick.
Yeah.
She came in. I don't know shit about NASCAR, so I don't know if she won a race. I don't know any of that stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's a start of something.
Right.
I mean, Derek, look at you.
It's inspired others.
Derek, look at you. I bet you never thought 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that you'd ever have a chance at having a podcast with me. And here you are. Look at that. You are proving to people that it can be done.
Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You did. But yeah.
But it's,
let's take this.
It's just showing, though. It's showing how things are evolving. Yeah, here's one. New Orleans baby cakes is what he's got up.
Oh, wow.
And that's actually pretty sick. I might have to try to get me one of those hats. But it's like the way that the game has evolved and everything with these hats and these names. I think it's cool. Like, think about when you go and create a team. I know we played. You played. You used to play the show. You used to play. I'm trying to think of the other game. You play Madden, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like in these games, I've done it too. We've all done it. T, I know for a fact you. Well, I don't know. You haven't played games in a while. You said you could go and create your team, and like you always wanted to have.
Oh yeah, I definitely did that.
Funny,
Right.
fact. Like you had.
Well, it's almost like your fantasy football team name now. Your fantasy whatever team name now. Everyone wants that clever, funny name. You know, for whatever their team name is.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, that's.
Sure.
I mean, that's true too. But even with the whole thing, like I want to, let's hear more about the fashion side of you and doing, I think it was Fear of God.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty unique connection.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's not even Derek. Derek just doesn't know what he's talking about. You were almost there. You were close. You were close, Derek.
So
but
I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Well, it goes back to your dad playing this situation because you got a really unique connection to Fear of God. And real quick, just for people who don't know what Fear of God is, if you hadn't heard of it, it is a super successful, I would say, higher fashion kind of brand that's out from they make clothing, they make shoes. When I say they, it's Jerry Lorenzo, who's the designer, and dude's mad talented when it comes to the fashion game. But like you got guys like LeBron, you got guys like Justin Bieber. I mean, really name someone in the world of celebrity right now that either isn't wearing it or doesn't want to wear it because it's about as hot as it gets. But you've got a pretty unique connection to Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jerry Jr., Jerry Lorenzo, he's my godbrother. Jerry Manuel Sr., my godfather, managed with the Mets. one of my dad's mentors when he first came into the league, and I've known him my whole life. So it's kind of my connection there. He sent me some stuff a couple years ago, and I was just like, this kind of just fits my personality perfect. Like, baggy clothes, just real comfortable, So yeah, that's just, a small kind of spectrum from.
But have you always been into fashion though, in terms of just like, is that something that you like have a little bit of passion about? I mean, like from what it looks like to me, when I see you out and about in Dallas, during the off season or, even, after like a big win, when you go out, I mean, you're not just throwing on like a t-shirt. It looks like you spend a little time thinking about like what you're rocking. I think I've even seen your closet before, and you might have more shoes than any other dude I know. I mean, you got a ton of shoes. So, I mean, I feel like it's something that is a little bit more relevant to you than just like, throwing a t-shirt on every day. Like you put some thought into it, it looks like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's thought that goes into it, but I'm really simple when it comes to clothes, or I try to be. I like neutral colors, black, white, tan, gray. Like just neutral is easy. But it can be hard making easy not boring sometimes.
Right.
And that's kind of where the thought comes into play, and that's where I spend the most time trying to be creative with.
Well, I saw you post a photo on your Instagram today, and you were looked like you did some kind of epic photo shoot, but you were in all black, but you were rocking these crazy shoes. Like you were actually tying the shoes, and they were like tie-dye, multicolor, kicks. Yeah. So to me, is that kind of what you're talking about in terms of just getting creative with it? Like all black, but then boom, you got this crazy color shoe on, and it's like between that and then your blue hair. I mean, those were like the focal points, I feel like, of the photo.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Just simple, and then having something that just catches your eye, catches your attention.
I mean, you got to be flashy. I like it. I'm kind of the same way. Well, I'm more of a t-shirt guy. Like I've always had the goofy t-shirts. Whenever I want to get dressed up, cool, I'll dress up. But one thing I will say that I have in common with you is I got to have the shoes.
Yeah.
I'm a big shoes guy. I know I got to deal with Under Armour. I love Under Armour. I also love Jordans too, though. I got to give the love to the Jordans as well. Like everybody likes Jordans.
Yeah.
But being around you as well, I've seen like the shoe game, and bro, it's always on point. It's good, and it's just like you said. You got to have shoes, man. I mean, I think that's like girls love their makeup and all that stuff. Bro, we love our shoes.
Yeah.
Well, I would say girls like shoes as well. I think that's definitely
one. That's true.
Yeah. So real quick, I just got to bring this up because Derek, I told you this. This was just a few days ago. One of our listeners, which is actually pretty cool to say, we have listeners, people that actually care about tuning into the podcast. One of our listeners, I'm gonna give him a quick shout out, Braid Parade. He actually sent in a DM, and we'll pivot back to what we were talking about, but this is just super cool, and I have it pulled up right now. But he sent us a DM, and I don't know if you remember when we were on the JC episode of the podcast, we had him on, and Delino, I don't know if you heard about this just in general, but there was that, Derek, you remember the woman that got banned from Walmart she was found in the parking lot basically driving around on one of those electric carts, and then she was drinking wine out of a Pringles can. Okay, and so she got like picked up by it sounds like a fake story. Delino's reaction, facial expression will tell you everything right there. But so the crazy part about it is, and the other thing we had talked about is just like Facebook and Google listening when you're seeing ads pop up, on your timeline and all that kind of stuff about stuff you had just talked about. So Braid Parade on Instagram sends us a DM, and he's just talking about how he loves the podcast. And then he goes, hey man, he goes, I just got to show you something. I just listened to the podcast of you guys talking about the lady being banned from Walmart on the electric scooter. And then this pops up on my timeline, and I screenshotted it. So I'll share it on the Instagram page, but it's crazy because the lady gets banned because she's drinking wine out of a Pringles can. And then right after that, this is just how the internet works. Some company decides to start making Pringles cans for wine drinkers that you can actually drink out of and selling them. So not only did someone hear that story and go, you know what, that's a great idea, but then Facebook heard that story and heard our listener listening to us talk about it and goes, hey, we need to show this listener this ad about Pringles wine cans. I don't know. I just thought it was like an inception moment for A, the idea actually coming to life, and then B, tying directly into our podcast and then our listeners seeing an ad for that story. Pretty wild.
Well, on top of that, so did you ever see this at all? Did you hear about it? Okay.
No.
So to give you a quick rundown, this lady, as you heard him say, was drinking her wine out of a Pringles can. So me and him joked about it. Like, why wouldn't you just go ahead and make, a wine bottle or whatever with the Pringer, put it in there. Like, we kept trying to figure out the whole thing of how does the wine stay into it. So if you look at a Pringles can, because I got a couple over there, you saw them in the green jar over there. I saw you looking at them.
Yeah.
That stuff's going to leak. Like, it's not going to be able to hold, the whole thing in there. So we were talking about it. We joked around, and then we were talking about that or whatever. But then also we talked about our phones listen to everything. If you ever notice it, like me and you, we could be talking about cars. You'll get like an ad for like used car or autotrader.com or something will pop up as an ad on like Facebook or Instagram, whatever. All these things that you talk about show up as an ad, and we just thought it was freaking crazy. And then T hit me up, and he was like, dude, I just got a message from a fan. They were listening to our show, and then the very first ad that they got to see was this Pringles thing. And it's like, dude, the phones, first of all, are trippy. Like, I trip out about this all the time.
Yeah.
We talk about, like, they're always listening. And then here it is. We got a perfect example of a fan that's listening to our show and literally had that same thing come up. Like, it's trippy.
That's crazy.
But what would you do anything crazy like that? Would you drink? Well, do you even drink wine?
I do, but
what's your drink? Let's just put it this way. What would you drink? If we're going out tonight and we're gonna get some drinks, what are you having?
I mean, I like whiskey, so I like Crown Apple.
So let's think you got whiskey and what?
No, Crown Apple.
Oh, Crown Apple. I thought you said whiskey and pineapple. What? Who the fuck drinks that? No, so okay, think about that then. Crown Apple sitting inside of a Pringles can, like that. It's to me that's a pretty solid little invention that you have, but it's all inspired by somebody who got in trouble for doing it. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, someone making money off someone else's idea.
It's a good idea, though. Do you think she gets anything from that?
No
because
chance.
It's her. She's the one that got in trouble for it, though.
Yeah.
I know she didn't patent it. She didn't do all that, but
No, she just gets a cool story, and hopefully they send her at least a free one or two of those to have at home for her troubles of getting banned from Walmart.
Yeah, she's taking that.
So
I think
for sure.
Definitely.
I'm just describing what's happening right now, but I just changed out my GoPro battery on this side, and I'm trying to get it reconnected. I feel like that might be what you're doing. Did his battery just go out, Delino?
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm just getting reconnected on my side, but for whatever reason, the app is not recognizing. Oh, okay.
On this here now because I think it's saying repair file, which the battery just died, so that's why I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. But in the meantime, though,
You said repair file.
Yeah, that's what it just said.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that could be a big negative there.
Typically, that's not a good thing. You might just be watching a video of me talking to myself. I would say, Derek. Hey, I would say go ahead and do the repair on it because it's probably more valuable to make. Okay, cool. And then once that's done, you can get the video going back on your side.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. But I mean, the big thing too, like, I mean, the whole, I kind of want to continue this Pringles thing because it's kind of intriguing is how something like this is now become something kind of a big deal. Like now you're going to see people with these random items that they can be drinking alcohol out of. File repaired. We're good. We're back.
Boom. File is repaired. That's great news. Great news.
So we're going to go back in live here in a second. As soon as that camera comes back up. Sorry, boys. But I want to say, like, look at that. We're back in business, just like that. Back in show business. Sorry,
you got it.
Delay, but again, what I was saying, I think it's crazy though that you're going to start seeing more people. I think with items like that are going to have alcohol in them. It's just more of like being hidden and just trying to fit in, like just trying to go about your business and not being called out for something. Is how I see it. And I think that's. I mean, is it really bothering anybody?
Ain't bothering me.
I mean, if you think about it, like...
I'm just going to be honest with you, Derek. I wasn't really listening to any of that, which is okay, but I was just trying to get my camera fixed, and I think we're good to go now. Oh. So if it sounded like I didn't care about if it sounded like I didn't care about what you were talking about, I probably didn't, but it was just because...
I'm not saying that you don't care. It's just that, like, we're bringing it up. We had to stall. We get it.
I wasn't stalling. I think that's great content. I think the people listening, that might be one of their favorite parts about the podcast is when we change out the batteries to the camera because it happens every episode. And I think that it's something that they probably wait for and hope for. So I'm not apologizing for anything.
Yeah. No, and that's kind of the way it is. I mean, maybe down the road we'll get an actual camera and we'll get some real stuff, but right now we're just a bunch of rookie bitches just trying to flow through the stream,
We're gonna have a real legit studio here at some point. No, but sorry, I didn't want to. I do care about the wine. I do care about the Pringles can. But we did.
Well, then let me continue. Then.
No, we're not finishing that.
This real quick.
What we're gonna finish is you asked Delino what he likes to drink. You didn't tell us what you like to drink.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a vodka water guy or a tequila.
Okay. Have you always been that guy? Like, at what do you feel like there was a point? Because I'm right now, I'm a whiskey guy, but I'll do whiskey and water, or I like a really good IPA beer, right?
I'll drink any beers. My beer of choice though is probably, and it's rare though. You don't get to see it. Like, obviously, I love Coors Light. That's not the rare beer.
Pass me a Coors.
Sam Adams is it's the Winterfest.
Okay.
Or White Christmas. They go by. There's two different ones. Those are both delicious. But again, you only get those in certain times of the year.
Yeah, but I think it also depends on where you're going. Like if you're going to like a little dive bar, like I might switch up and just like for sure I'm probably going to get a drink or like a Jack and water there. I used to do Jack and Cokes, but I got off the soft drink thing like 3 or 4 years ago. And so I just changed it to Jack and water or like a Jameson and water, some type of whiskey and water. But then if I go to like a fancy restaurant and sit down, at that point I'm probably sipping on some scotch just to kind of like, change the environment a little, get one of those big cubes, like the big round or square cubes, just because every time I get one of those, they set the glass down on the table. I'm the only person that requested the giant cube. Everybody at the table wants to know what you're drinking. And it's like, well, it's really just nothing special. It's whiskey and then this giant ice cube. And that's, that's really it.
Those ice cubes are cool. They get people's attention.
It's a conversation piece. But yeah.
On that though, like if we did you hear that?
Yeah.
We got some weird sound effects going in our ears right now.
The battery dying?
Oh, that means your battery's dying.
Oh, on the headphones?
On the headphones, yep.
Oh well, let's keep going until we run out.
Yeah, keep going until we run out. It'll be all good.
It's getting close. But it's to me, those are something it's crazy is to be able to have something like that. People are going to get those items. They're going to be drinking out of them and doing that stuff. But that's kind of the way it is. I mean, people just want to be relaxed. They want to be comfortable with everything that they're doing.
100%.
Some people like to drink.
Yeah, some people do like to drink. Hopefully not too much. Drink responsibly. Disclaimer right there. I said it. We're covered. Okay, I want to get to a couple, just because I don't know how much time we got with the headphones here. I do want to get to a couple of trending topic stories and just kind of see what everybody thinks about them. This is all stuff that happened either today or the last couple of days. So first off, shout out Dallas Mavericks. I got my hat on right now, but we just experienced a pretty significant trade. We got rid of, I'm sad to see DeAndre go. DeAndre was one of my favorite guys on the team, but we got rid of DeAndre Jordan, Dennis Smith Jr., and then who was number 3? Wesley Matthews. And they all went to the Knicks. And we got, what was his name? Kristaps, not sure how to pronounce it, but Porzingas. And that's made some pretty serious waves all around the NBA. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we actually kind of lost you a little bit there, so there might be, just for the future, so people know, the headphones just died.
The headphones came out. Okay. We should.
He heard you about 95% of the time. So
yeah, I'll break it back down though. I'll break it back down. So the Mavs, and we should be good recording like this. We'll find out. Listeners, if you guys hear it sound a little weird from this point on, you'll know why. But we're working through it. So the Mavs, they just had a big trade come through on Friday. I think it was last week, and we got Kristaps Porzingas. I'm not sure how to pronounce it yet, but pretty big deal. European player coming in. We also got a few other guys, Tim Hardaway Jr., and I can't remember the other names. I apologize off the top. But we did lose DeAndre. We did lose Dennis Smith Jr., and we did lose Wesley Matthews. But everybody on the Dallas Mavs side of things, in terms of the fan base, everything I've seen, and even like the reactions around the league, everyone's pretty hyped up. Like, this kind of is a game changer for us when it comes to the Mavs. And like, Derek, I know you've got, season tickets to the Mavs and all that. What were your thoughts when that came through?
For me as a Mavs fan, I love it. I think picking up Porzingas was awesome. I get what they're doing. They said that we're not going to see him this year, which is fine. You want the guy to be healthy. He's 23, I think is what it was. And then you got Luka, who's only 19. Them two together is great. It definitely sucked to see DeAndre Jordan go. Also to see Dennis Smith Jr. go. And obviously one of my favorites was Wesley Matthews. I loved watching those guys play. I think that was huge with those guys. I loved what DeAndre brought to the table as a big-time leader. It's definitely, as a fan, you don't want to see a guy like him, or in my eyes, I know people don't. I get it, Wes is a friend. But at the same time, I felt like he did a lot of good things for us, too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then DSJ, I mean, the dude was a stud. He's going to be a star. He's something special. I get it. There was some issues going on or whatever. We don't know the true story of what was going on with the whole clubhouse or locker room, however you want to put it, with them trying to either extend him, I think, or whatever it was they were doing where he wasn't playing. I get it. That's part of it. But at the same time, like, you hate to see some talent like that go, but to pick up a guy like Porzingas, you have to give away some talent too.
Yeah.
And if we're kind of building for the future, I think that was an outstanding pickup. Obviously, another pickup that I liked was Penny Hardaway's son, Junior.
Well, father-son moment right there. They were talking about, that's, I think, the only time, like in terms of Dirk, he's played with a dad and played with their son on the same team. Not against, but he's played with the dad as a teammate and the son as a teammate. And that's a pretty unique situation right there, too. And I know a lot of people, I mean, I can't wait to see it happen, but a lot of people are pretty stoked on the moment. I know you said that they're talking about not putting him on the court, but I think you're going to see him on the court at least a couple times, because I know that they're going to want to create that moment everyone's waiting for, to have Dirk, Luka, and Porzingas on the floor all at the same exact time. Fans want that. They're going to give it to him at least once.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that was pretty cool that they get to do something like that. But hopefully, I mean, we see something. I'm wondering in this case, like, is this it though? Do you think, as a fan, do we try to go out and get somebody else? But if we do, who would we even try to go after? That's the bigger.
Well, they're talking about that. I don't know his name. That European guy from Orlando.
I don't know.
He's like a stud. They're saying if we got him, it would be a really serious situation. Like we went from like maybe we'll make the playoffs to like major contender, which I think Porzingas does that for us too. But the addition of this guy, let's see. I want to see if I can Google his name real quick. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, I know. Oh, is it Vucevic? I want to say he's another European guy. Anyways, y'all can Google it. Y'all can figure it out. I'm not the guy to do that right now. But yeah, so that was a big deal in the NBA, and I think the NBA trade deadline is next week. So we're probably going to see a few more things happen. I don't know if it's going to be with the Mavericks, but definitely. What's the guy right now that's a major conversation? It has the
Anthony Davis.
There you go. I was gonna say unibrow. He's the unibrow guy, right?
Yeah. Which is cool. I think that's something that's unique, man. I love guys that do stuff like that. Like you're doing something for you, you know?
Well, it's like it's like when you did the mustache, though. That mustache was ridiculous.
Hey, it was a great thing. Don't hate on it.
What, Delino? What was it like having Derek as a teammate? Because if you know Derek, he's a pretty fun guy, pretty spontaneous. Was that something that you look forward to from a kind of keeping the clubhouse alive and just the energy flowing? Or did he kind of get on your nerves a little bit?
He's just a really, really good teammate, good person. Had like an infectious energy. You kind of just gravitate toward. He's goofy, keeps everything light and loose. But when it's game day and he's got to go on that hill, he's locked in and he's ready to kick somebody's ass. So as fun and goofy as he is at times, when it comes to his work, he's very serious and he wants to go out there and compete, win, and give his team the best chance to go out there and get a dub. So guys like that are good to have on your team. You don't want it to be all serious all the time. Have somebody that kind of break it up is good.
Yeah, I mean you gotta still have fun with what you're doing.
What's that?
I say you got to still have fun doing what you're doing. Like, in terms of being too serious and all that, it's like anything else in life. You always got to find the balance, with everything. And having, like when I was playing, it was always great having that guy on the team. And usually it was a couple guys and we'd all get into it, but that could just kind of lighten the mood a little bit and put everything in perspective. I wasn't fortunate like you were, Delino, to have a guy that could do all the different voices of all the different cartoon characters that you grew up watching. So,
well, I feel like he didn't really do it in the clubhouse that much, right?
I wouldn't say I did. I would do it more in the dugout, and it would be kind of with the other pitchers. Like it wasn't really because some of the thing is like people think that I just go around doing these voices and like I do them, but it's not necessarily like that. Like I'm trying to do things that keep the clubhouse loose. A voice is something that like I have fun with. That's like a side thing. Like that's something I want to do outside of baseball. When I'm in the clubhouse and stuff and I'm trying to keep everybody loose and, go out there and have fun, I get all that stuff. I keep the vibe going just like watching Elvis and Beltray when they would go at it on the field. Like you got to keep the environment loose because I feel like most of the time what happens is when we're so serious, we tend to overthink things more and then we end up making the mistake. Whereas if we're loose and we get to be ourselves, you do a lot more with what you're doing. You see guys actually like, I love saying Elvis because he keeps it loose and this dude can make some serious plays. He is a outstanding shortstop. Like I loved having him behind me because his energy is always the same. He's very happy, goes after it and carries himself. And then he's loose to where he can go make these plays like it's nothing.
The thing I love about Elvis and also Profar was the same way is those two guys, like 99.9% of their life, I feel like they have a smile on their face. Always seem to be like they're in a good mood. Obviously, life isn't perfect, right? But that's one constant. Like I've always just seen them smiles on their face, whether it's on the field, whether it's interacting with fans, whether it's, out and about, out to dinner, or whatever. And that's something I definitely think helps just having guys like that too. Everybody, it's funny because everyone, they play their role. on the field in terms of their position and what they're supposed to do day in and day out. But then there's also like the other roles that teammates play, that aren't necessarily specific to the game. So, I just think it's kind of unique to look at baseball that way. But yeah, so the other thing, since we're on the sports kick, I also just wanted to bring this up. There's a couple little side notes on this. Big thing just happened last night called the Super Bowl. Patriots took that dub. Yeah.
The Puppy Bowl was yesterday.
I don't even know if we're allowed to say that technically. They trip out whenever you say, like, you can't, in advertising at your restaurant or your bar, if you've got the game on, you can only advertise it as the big game, or like the quote unquote Super Bowl committee will come after you and like, pursue you legally or not allow you to watch it. It's crazy. It's super intense when it comes to the Super Bowl. So that's why you'll see
it's super intense as it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, but that's you've all seen it, and you will only see it. It's always referred to as the big game on any type of advertisement that isn't actually connected directly and affiliated with some type of contracted deal with the league and with the Super Bowl committee. They got that down. They're trying to get all that money.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl. It was a big deal. Obviously the game yesterday was kind of
lame.
Interesting. I definitely didn't expect it to. Yeah, I kind of agree. I didn't expect it to be that way, especially with two powerhouse offenses. I thought for sure we would have seen something crazy with it. But
they said it was the lowest ratings game that they've had, I think, since like 2008 or 2009. And
but do you think some of that's tied into the games beforehand, the championship games before you got to the Super Bowl? Do you think that kind of pissed off a lot of people with what happened?
Well, I'll tell you, the Saints are upset. That's for sure. Watching that, and you know me, I don't get too into the day in and day out of sports, but watching that, I watched that live. That guy got lit up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but it's part of it. We can't, as baseball players, we can't really, there's not too much we could say because it's not, we can't argue with that situation. What the call is, you got to leave it how it stands. And it sucks. Like, things don't always go your way. When we play each other and stuff like that, we don't always get the calls that we want. I know for a fact, like, there's probably calls that I wish I could get against Delino when I faced him, or same thing against him. And I bet there's calls that he wishes he could have got against me too. So it's one of those
on the Saints for no penalty, no flag to get called. I would, if it's me, I'm feeling a little salty. Just like I'm feeling a little salty still, like Dez in that catch. It's one of those things. It's one of those moments where it's like, okay, if you could go back in time and the call that should have been made was made. That's definitely a game changer when those kind of moments happen. And it just kind of sucks as I'm not speaking from the athlete's standpoint, but when you got to deal with that, it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's definitely like a salty taste in your mouth where you're just, there's literally nothing you can do. You did everything right and the correct way and how you were supposed to do it, but somebody else made the decision and, put your fate, in their hands, essentially.
Kind of communicate, and if from there, then they're like, maybe we need to go review it. Yeah, it's somewhere else. Yeah, it's New York. Well, they have a crew that's there though. There's an umpiring crew that stays there, and they're basically watching all the games. So when that situation presents itself, they can review it and everything. I don't know anything about the NFL and how they do it. I love the way that the MLB, and they get together and they talk and if there's something wrong, I'll put it that way. If there's something wrong that they think they missed a call, they always get together with it and then they figure it out. Like, hey, did somebody else see a different view? And if they think that there might have been a chance, then they can because it is also umpire's discretion to go and do something like that, especially after the 7th inning and on.
Yeah, but sometimes they still get it wrong anyway. Sometimes.
I mean, there's some things.
I mean, it's not perfect. Yeah, it's not perfect.
Nobody's perfect, no matter.
Yeah, but when they review a play,
I mean,
when they review a play in baseball, it's not actually anybody, and I could be wrong. Correct me here. It's not actually anybody at the stadium reviewing the play. Aren't they making a call to New York, and someone in New York is actually making that?
We lost that game.
Isn't that kind of wild too? I guess. I mean, I guess in the same time, it's not, because it probably eliminates a little bit of like any type of bias that might exist from like a hometown employee.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you could do any different. I mean, to be honest, this will be something that I think we talk about down the road. Like, this is something that's going to come back up. It could be 10 years from now. I bet we could probably still talk about the game in St. Louis. And now I'm thinking of our World Series days. Now, the game in New Orleans. I was
okay.
The Saints. But, yeah, it's one of those things that I think is going to be a topic that we get to talk about over and over again. I think even next year, I think that's something that it's easily going to be brought up just next year.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just got to taste yourself.
Definitely unfortunate. Yeah, you just can't do anything about it. It is what it is, right? You just kind of got to move on and go to the next season. But at the same time, you're always going to be critical of yourself and kind of just looking like, okay, what could I have done better? And in that moment, is there really anything that you could have done better? And the answer is probably not.
But I think a guy is
right,
Joseph Montana.
I mean,
Joe Montana, just for those.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most underrated quarterback of all time might be Drew Brees. As far as like people don't talk about him as much as they do like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and like a Joe Montana.
He's kind of like under the radar because of their success.
Yeah, but when you look at his numbers, he's
got unbelievable numbers.
Derek, I thought that was a great little way for you to subtly sneak in that World Series comment. Like, oh yeah, folks, by the way, just in case you don't remember, I pitched in the World Series. That was a pretty cool, subtle way to kind of slip that in there.
Terrell Davis.
That was nice. You just got to remind the folks, remind the people.
Yeah. There. Terrell.
right.
So is Tom Brady the greatest of all time? That's the question right now. Is he the GOAT? Is there anybody
did you eat your chocolate soup?
Current or past is better than him, and why? I want to say that was like his 13th appearance.
Yeah, I played running back.
Yeah,
I
stud.
would go in the slot sometimes. But I was going to LSU to play football and baseball, so that obviously didn't happen. Realizing that football wasn't something that I really wanted to pursue on a professional level, and I decided to go the baseball route. But I really did want to go play college football and have that experience. But at the same time, I feel pretty
when I was growing up, I was a big fan of John Elway. And like John Elway, and who was the running back at the time for the Broncos? Was it Terrell Owens?
I was nice, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I was nice.
No, Terrell Davis. That's right. I'm tripping. Terrell Owens was the receiver,
Ladies
right?
and gentlemen.
Hey, look, I just remember my favorite thing back then about football was the Campbell's Chunky Soup commercials. Okay, that was my favorite thing about it. Heck yeah, I was all about it back then, man. No, yeah, Drew Brees. What position did you play in football, Delino? Because I don't know if everyone knows that, but you were looking at going to school to play football, also, right?
I mean, I just liked how Big Boy came on there, and
I think they should have done more Atlanta people.
I mean,
that's my opinion.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'd say it was a solid decision. Tell him how it is. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so did you guys catch the halftime show? Thoughts? Was it like I was gonna say on a scale from 1 to 10 from both of you, what was it? Really? You thought it was that good? I thought it was okay. I wasn't like blown away by it. Well, but they did. But here's the part where you're not connecting on. So the whole Atlanta thing, I happen to know a decent bit about this. So Jermaine Dupri, obviously Atlanta legend, right? Like not just Atlanta, but music legend. The dude's produced some of the biggest hit singles ever, and he's still killing it. DJing, producing, like he is, just got inducted in the Writers Hall of Fame, Songwriting Hall of Fame. The dude is just incredible. Well, they actually picked him. He got selected as the official music curator of the Super Bowl. So for the 7 days leading up to the actual Super Bowl game, he actually put together an entire concert series that they said the NFL committee and the Super Bowl committee said it was the biggest Super Bowl concerts that they've ever had in the history of Super Bowl concerts. So he had everybody from Lil Jon to Ludacris to them Franchise Boys to name someone out of Atlanta, classic Atlanta. Like he had them all performing at this. So when it comes to the halftime show, should there have been more representation? 100%. But I will say that they did an incredible job of featuring Atlanta artists through Jermaine, putting this whole showcase together. So it didn't get neglected. But if we are specifying the halftime show, then yeah, there could have been way more representation. Because even like the Big Boy song, it was just like a quick little snippet. It wasn't like it wasn't that prominent. Like what did y'all think about Travis Scott?
Bruno Mars? No, it wasn't last year. This was
my only issue with it though is that it didn't sound anything like him on the record. Like that's one pet peeve of mine is when I go see an artist live and they don't sound like the record. Like he was singing on top of the record and you could hear the way it's supposed to sound, and then you just hear his regular voice. And I get that there's effects and all that kind of stuff, but they can control that. They can do that live, and that was probably the only part about it I wasn't digging when it came to his performance. But he is one of the hottest artists out right now. I mean that's Sicko Mode that's 4 years record. Ago, you play that in the club, and it's about to turn up.
Good halftime show too. To be talking about it still.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right. Yeah, that was a good one. It might have been last year because he was super hot last year from a music standpoint. He had some major hits. Bruno Mars,
it was definitely planned. It had to have been.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, then there was Katy Perry and Missy Elliott. They were part of the same performance. Okay. So yeah, he was about as accurate as you can get. Look at that.
I mean, if that happened nowadays, there would have been some incidents.
One of the best to me was when they had it was like NSYNC, Aerosmith, Britney Spears. I think Nelly performed during that one, and like one or two other artists. But it was a major, like it was like 5 or 6 major artists from all different types of genres. That was one of the dopest to me. Paul McCartney, he did one. I think this was like 6-7 years ago. It was shortly after the Janet Jackson nip slip that we all lived through. Which I still think. I don't know about y'all. Do you guys think that was planned, or do you think that was a total accident? Because that seems like a really weird accident.
Atlanta based. I wasn't expecting Maroon 5.
Yeah, it was great.
But the more I think about it,
it was great PR. I'm just wondering if it was planned by
maybe
like
the
choreography team, or if that was something last minute that like Justin and Janet talked about, and we're like, okay, we're about to do this, and maybe the nip slip part wasn't supposed to be a part of it. Maybe I don't know. It's just like that's such a random and very specific thing at the same time to happen.
Yeah. Like
there's no way it was an accident.
Yeah, okay. So I think that was something that kind of helped out with the situation.
Right.
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Well, it's totally different now because I remember the Super Bowl got real boring after that. They said they weren't going to have like any kind of like quote unquote edgy performers, and it really took a long time. Like the fact that Travis Scott was on the stage with Big Boy and Maroon 5.
Good stuff for
a while. We're finally
right?
getting back to where it's okay to like have cool people doing the halftime show again. But I thought it was cool. I didn't think it was anything like super crazy, but it was cool. Derek, do you know who?
That's crazy.
All right, guys. Derek and Delino, both, do you guys listen to 21 Savage, the rapper? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of blown away. I don't know the whole
what's
story
that?
all the way. I got to hear a little bit of
What'd
it.
you say?
I heard some of it on Howard Stern today, actually.
Oh, man. Okay, so that's why I'm bringing that up. So you guys obviously heard about that, which is wild. Like they're saying it's the biggest plot twist ever.
ATL,
So like
and
I think he claims Atlanta as where he's from in terms of like from the rap scene standpoint. I'm pretty sure he claims Atlanta. I could be wrong on that, but it's definitely not the UK. So I guess while in Atlanta for the Super Bowl, this was like an investigation that they had going on, but ICE, the immigration agency, they actually arrested him, and he's detained currently by the immigration agency, and turns out he's actually a citizen of the United Kingdom. Like, is that not like the craziest, most random thing? So I guess he's about to go through the immigration court system, and deport him like back to the UK. But that's kind of wild because that's like the last thing I ever expected to hear was like, oh yeah, 21 Savage, that rapper from Atlanta that does the rap music. Yeah, that dude's really from the UK. Like what? and that's why they snatched him up during Super Bowl.
The internet is forever undefeated.
Yeah,
Internet always wins.
Always wins.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't see what the big deal is, to be honest. He raps. He says he's from Atlanta. Who cares? Like, I think people just making a big deal about it.
Well, they said he
To
moved
me,
here when he was like 10 years
deal.
old. Like when he first came to the States, he was like 10, and then I guess the visa that he was on expired, and they never renewed the visa. Oh, my cat is jumping into the picture real quick.
Oh, hey, what's up, Whiskers?
Yeah, but he I guess his visa expired and it never got renewed. Well, as a 10-year-old kid, you're not the one that's responsible to renew your visa. I mean, you don't even know what that concept is, right? So I'm assuming at some point his parents knew and then never were like, hey, by the way, you're here in the United States illegally. You might want to keep it low key for a while until you get that visa renewed. Right. And so I guess it finally caught up with them. I don't know if this is accurate, but I heard there was another rapper that the same thing happened with today or the day before, connected directly to the same investigation. So I don't know. We'll be interested to see what happens. You got guys like Meek Mill, Quavo, different guys within the hip hop community, you know, kind of doing the whole hashtag free 21, which, I mean, hopefully they can help him because he's been making good music. Just had that record with Post Malone, Rockstar, which was huge. Couldn't get that thing off the radio. And obviously he's had his own hits too. So we'll see. I think he'll be okay. I think he's good financially. And I'm sure it's one of those things where, okay, you're going back to the UK for, I don't know, maybe just enough time for him to get a visa, you know, renewed a work visa. And then I guarantee he's back here like nothing ever happened. So it is just like,
I mean, do you think he's going to go back? Do you think they keep him, you know,
I don't know.
Have to send him back. Maybe he gets his paperwork done right away.
Maybe.
He's got the money to take care of it.
You would think they would work something out. It just seems odd to target him, you know, like that. I don't know. We'll see. It's just such a random. The internet had so many memes in regards to it today that I could not. Like there was just, I saved probably 10 of them, but it's good for the internet, I guess.
It was a hell of a weekend, that's for sure.
100%. The other thing, okay, so does anybody have Bitcoin? When it was real hot last year, did any of you guys buy any Bitcoin? Okay.
No, I didn't get into that.
So I did buy some Bitcoin. Nothing crazy. I didn't like, you know, lose my arm and my leg over anything. But so there's a story that came out today. And there's this Bitcoin investor who had about $190 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin, right? Well, do you guys know that how Bitcoin works in terms of like it's private, so you know no one can access your money unless they have this special string of characters, basically like a password, but it's a really, really, really long password. So this guy ends up dying. Okay, the dude with $190 million worth of Bitcoin dies, and he's the only person that has the password to the $190 million. So he's the head of this investment firm, and none of them can get access to this money. How do you feel about that? 190 mil.
And nobody has access to this.
Yeah, and this was, I mean, a firm. So like, there's employees, there's other people. Like this is a lot of people's money, you know, tied up in this account, and he's the only one that had the access. Now he's dead, and there's absolutely no way to get that money.
I mean, I guess you're going to have to crack that password.
It's not possible. It's really, it's not possible. It's game over.
Hold on. We talked about this earlier. Anything is possible.
Okay, anything is possible. But there are people saying that a lot of people think, I guess, that they've seen activity. So you can see someone's wallet. You can't see who owns it, but you can see someone's wallet and see if there's any activity going in there. Like, are they selling any Bitcoin, or are they buying any Bitcoin? And apparently his account is still active. So there's a theory going on right now that this guy might have faked his death and is trying to run with the money. But I just, when I first heard the story, just having Bitcoin, even though I don't have like anywhere near that, like, I mean, we're talking like microscopic levels compared to 190 million. That would be the absolute worst feeling in the world, knowing that you couldn't access, even if someone didn't die and you just either forgot it or you lost the password or you lost the key. I mean, I couldn't imagine that happening, let alone $190 million. So I'm sure there's some people not sleeping very well tonight. As
hey, do you think he made like a? Do you remember the movie shoot, was it Beer Fest? Yeah, Beer Fest.
I've never seen that movie.
Did you see Beer Fest?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember how, we'll explain this to him. They have like a video of the grandpa on his deathbed. He records and he gives like the, this is what we got kind of thing. Like gives him like a, I don't know how you want to put it, like basically his will. He's saying like this, and this is going to be left with this, with you and him and.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it that well. Is that in the beginning?
Yeah, it's at the very beginning. So basically, what I'll say it then is, before he had died, he made like this video saying, "Hey, this stuff is left for you. You guys have to go and compete in Beer Fest with the rest of your family." All that. Found out like there was family out there, I think, if I'm correct, or something like that. And so they did that. And so on top of that, we've got, hey, you had your cat, now we got Bruce.
Nice.
But he did that. So that's why I'm wondering if maybe there's like a video that's out that's hidden that has like, hey, I know I was going to die. Here's such and such, some clues or the password or whatever. Like maybe it's like one of these crazy mysteries. Like, have you seen Ready Player One?
So I haven't, but I need to because it looks super interesting to me, and the whole topic itself I'm really interested in.
It's actually pretty cool because it kind of relates to how nowadays, when we got those virtual reality things. So there's 3 eggs that are hidden in this movie. I haven't seen the whole thing. I got halfway through it, and unfortunately, I was so tired that I did fall asleep. But I did like the movie, so it's not.
Hey, just make sure your audio recorder's still recording because mine apparently went out. I think it was only out for a minute, but I just turned it back on.
Nope, we've got the record light.
Okay, great.
We're good.
Good.
But so there's 3 eggs that are hidden in this virtual reality, and they have to go find them. So that's what I feel like. Maybe this is like our real life thing of this guy.
Man, that dude.
I know it's probably not going to happen, but it's still something that we can say is possible.
Well, that dude better hide really
like
well.
Clues and got to find
eggs.
it.
Yeah.
That dude better hide really well.
So hold on. Speaking of eggs, we have our newest.
Oh, snap. We got to welcome. Well, I can't say welcome, but Derek welcomes you to the Tesla Club.
We're working on yours. We're working on that deal with Tesla. To get you
Come on, Elon.
But I want to know, have you seen the Easter eggs in the Tesla?
Yeah. I've played and messed around on them.
What do you think of the car? Because you have the same thing as me. You have the Model X.
Yeah.
You got Ludacris, right?
Yep.
Not the rapper.
Not the rapper. Easter eggs are pretty cool. I feel like it can change like the Santa Claus thing in the car.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, like Christmas is over with. Like, let's move on to something else.
So you want them to update. You want them to be able to do something for each holiday, for each season.
Yeah, that would make
I'm
sense.
sure they will, though.
It's not a bad idea.
I bet you they do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the technology is unbelievable in that thing.
Yeah,
you got autopilot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to have that. I mean,
well,
I'm not
but
Tesla without
I think
autopilot.
one of the coolest things that you did was wrap it. You just wrapped it with that carbon fiber wrap on the whole thing. I haven't seen one like that personally. It looks super dope.
Yeah, well, I like being different, and that was extremely different. So
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's tight.
He drove his Mercedes here today.
Oh, look at you!
Bring out the
Look at him putting you on
home.
Front Street
Tesla's
right there,
home.
just letting everybody know.
It's all good.
I got to, man.
Tesla's at the house though, chilling until I get back.
That's what's up.
It's a good place for it though. But I mean, it's to me. I mean, I think the technology with the Tesla. We've talked about this before. We're not going to harp on it again, but I just think it's one of the coolest vehicles I've bought personally.
Yeah, I mean, I ride it way more than my Mercedes. Just, I don't know, the acceleration in the car is crazy. Technology, yeah. You could put it in Ludacris Plus mode. Have you driven that?
I didn't even know that. I just found that out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got to hold it down.
Yeah, or like if you go to the Easter eggs and it has the like Star Trek, those lights. You hit that button and it'll be like you want to enter something. You want to
speed or whatever.
Yeah, and it says no, I want mommy. Or yes, bring it on or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
No,
so
I want
yes,
mommy.
Bring it on. It puts it in Ludacris Plus.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. See, I was told if you hold down Ludacris, it'll take
I mean, you
to
can do that. You can do that too. But
hey, see, that's something that we didn't talk about in the last show. Well, a show way back.
Way back. We're on episode 4, and we already have shows way back.
Hey, it's that good. That's why I say way back.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid to ride in Ludacris Plus Mode. I ain't even gonna lie.
I'm gonna try it though.
I know you are.
Once I get it around.
Yo, Derek.
That's for sure.
Derek, I want to ask you about something that happened. I want to say this was last weekend because I saw it on the internet, and we're going to share it on our page if anyone hadn't seen it. But you just went to a WWE event this past weekend, right? What was it? Was it a Royal Rumble?
Yeah, we went to so me and Head, buddy Josh, went to the Royal Rumble that was here in Arizona, and then we went to Raw, and then we went to SmackDown. So we had 3 days of wrestling. Those that followed my Instagram, they got to see the long stories of wrestling. Something that I've been doing for the past 3 years, I think is how long we've been doing this. Finally got caught. I don't know if you heard about this. It's cool. It's something that I wasn't trying to get the notice. Like it's something you want to be passionate about it. You like doing it. Is I go and buy belts, the wrestling championship titles. I buy them for the kids that I sit near. If there's a kid that's near me, I want to change their story. I want them to go away or take away from the wrestling with more than what they had when they first came in.
Right.
And what I mean by that is more of like an inspiration of becoming maybe a WWE superstar or something like that. Because I grew up as a kid, I loved wrestling. One of my favorite wrestlers, we've all talked, or me and T's talked about this, was Rey Mysterio.
Mine too.
That was one of my favorites. Dude flies everywhere. And I got to meet him, which was cool. He's really tiny. I didn't realize that he was so small. But
I think they call him the flying squirrel.
He basically is, man.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just.
On the video game, that's the guy I play with every time.
You always just got to fly with him. And like for me, growing up, I was a Rey Mysterio fan. I was passionate. Like loved that dude. I cried when his mask got taken off when I was young. Nash, I remember the day still. Kevin Nash power slammed him. Or power bomb, actually. And then when he got up and he took his mask off, I lost it. So, I was like, man, I want to get in there and I want to whoop Kevin Nash's ass. I was so pissed. So for that, like, I've always been inspired by wrestling because it's like a getaway from everything. Like you get to check out these guys and these girls are just crushing each other out there, like fighting, getting into it. And it's cool because it takes you away from everything. And they always have kids that are there. It's either... We've been lucky to sit next to some Make-A-Wish kids, some other kids that have basically kind of been less fortunate. And something that, me and Josh have done was we would always give those kids a belt, a championship title. And this time, they caught me. And again, like I said, I was not trying to be caught. It's just one of those things that you want to go out and you want to motivate these kids. And, they weren't very fortunate, and I get it. And I'm not here to look for the hey, way to go, Derek. It was just more of a this is me. Like T's been around me, you've been around me. I love doing this kind of stuff. Like I like surprising kids with stuff that they're not expected to see or get or whatever. And so I went back. I told Josh, I said, hey man, let's go get these kids some belts. And when we walked up, we realized that there was 5 kids, two girls, 3 boys. So we went up there. I wanted to get the women's titles for the 2 girls. Well, unfortunately, they didn't have them. So I was like, all right, I got to figure out the best solution. So they have 2 championship titles. It's the world heavyweight, and then there's the universal heavyweight. Well, the universal one's red. And so, girl likes red, so why not? I'll get her red. The world heavyweight is black, so we'll just get that. We got 2 red, 3 black. Took them down there, gave them to the kids, and, they just lost it.
These are like the actual belts?
Yeah, these are the actual belts. These aren't, cheap gimmicks.
So they just have them for sale, or they just... have them for just sitting
they
in
have
the
them
room.
for sale. They say it's just like if you go to
it's like a souvenir that they sell
Rangers game
at the souvenir stand.
Game it's just their that's their.
But
thing.
they've got they've got the replica
the
versions and all that kind of stuff.
I got the real deal. Belts that these guys they have.
Right.
And we came back and gave them the belts and they just lit up. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, the people that were behind them lit up. And then it was like crap. I realized. I got the belts. I was happy about that, but now I've kind of created a little bit of attention. That all I was trying to do is I want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy the atmosphere. They were about to get on TV to show off, I had no idea about that part though, which worked out perfect because when we came back, they had the belts, so they were showing them off. They were into it, And then Stephanie McMahon was talking to the lady that was with him that was showing them around stuff. She's like, well, who the hell goes out and buys like 5 belts for kids that they don't even know? And they're like, yeah, this guy just did it. And then finally, like, we got to her to know who it was, and it was me. And she had no idea who I was at the time. She knew who I was, but she didn't realize that was me that was getting these belts. Mm-hmm. Or got the belts this time. And then finally, we went back and we talked and got to interview him, and I was telling my whole story of, like, growing up, me and my dad used to watch wrestling, and I became real passionate about it, and I want to inspire kids to do that, because at the end of the day, one of those kids could become the next WWE superstar. They could, even if they're not that, they could become the next baseball player, the next football player. They could be an absolute star or inspire others. And then the way you also got to look at it is they're going to remember this for the rest of their lives, to where one day they're going to show up at a game or an event, and they're going to remember, somebody did this to me, I want to try to do it to them.
Right.
So now we've got this circle just continuing to grow. And so something that I've been doing every time I've gone to a wrestling event was, if there's kids that are, right by me or something like that are really into it and they're showing the passion, I'm going to surprise them with a belt, because I feel like it's something that they deserve and they should have, because I want them to enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
So that way, when they leave, they can tell their friends about it, they can tell their family about it, they can do whatever they want, but it could be inspiring them to become something that.
Well, it's not just inspiration. Right. I mean, that's got to be a super cool memory and like you said, story for them to tell, even as they get older, when they can fully grasp what happened. Like, in the moment, it's just probably amazing that someone did that. But then, like you said, when they get older and they really start to think about that moment, it could be a transformative moment for, like, that person going, man, I want to be just like that. I want to pay it forward. I want to do something because I can. And, like, that's really kind of like the moral of the story behind it. Like, you weren't looking for any of this attention, off of this just what's a simple gesture for you to make to kind of, improve and enhance the experience that these kids were already having, a great experience, I'm sure. But then they get these belts. It's a cool thing to have happen. And then, WWE ran with it. I mean, I got a few text messages and a couple DMs from people that were like, hey, this is super cool. And they sent me a screenshot, and it was like the Twitter account of WWE. I think they were going back and forth with you a couple times on social media and just kind of highlighting the whole thing. Didn't they bring you back and, like, did they do like a little interview kind of thing with you on camera?
So you always call me out, so it's my turn to call you out. You weren't listening to what I said.
I was
listening.
Man.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, Delino. No, they did. They called me back. We did an interview. It was on WWE, which was cool because, like, they have a large fan base. Like, we know how WWE works, which is awesome. Like, it's something that, to me, is going to continue to grow. I think
they have a massive fan base. Massive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they do such a good job of connecting the fans with the wrestlers, and the wrestlers vice versa, getting with the fans. I mean, one of my favorite people to watch now is the New Day.
Oh, they're great, man.
Those 3 guys, they interact with the fans like no other. I mean, they are fully into it. I mean, they have their own little thing, the whole bootios, the pancakes, the trombone when they come out. They get the fans.
Their personalities
match. Like, it's intense.
Their personalities are off the charts. Yeah, Bootios is the funniest thing. Their personality, though, is just off the charts. They're some of the best when it comes to that, like you were saying, that fan interaction, and just, it doesn't matter if it's them in the ring or you were to catch them and meet them out in public somewhere. They're gonna put on a show for you, especially if you're a huge fan.
They game with people too. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, something about the WWE that I don't think as many people see is they do a really good job interacting with fans, like getting the fans involved, especially at the event.
Delino, just a quick note, Delino's on Jolly Rancher number 6, I think.
No, you're past that. He's past that.
Oh, we're past 6?
Like 8, maybe.
I think this is 9.
9.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, he's got 9.
Stop, baby.
Yeah, but that I just want to say, Derek, I thought that was really cool, man. Keep doing stuff like that. I know I give you a hard time a lot, but that was a cool move.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome
for making me feel better.
I just
about myself.
wanted to make you blush on camera, and it worked.
But that's what it's all about, though. Like, even when I do like my Twitch or any of the other stuff that I do, like, I want the fans involved because they are who make us what we are. So, I feel like it's necessary to go out there, take the time, interact with these people, because at the end of the day, without them, you're nothing.
100%. It would be pretty weird if you guys didn't have fans and you were just playing in a completely empty stadium all the time.
We've joked around about that with like the virtual reality things. Remember?
Right. No.
Someday at some point we're gonna see that to where
you have seen that.
Remember Little Gray. You're gonna see people now because you can so if you had that, you can go watch a basketball game and be side by side, but at the house. Like you could be home, I can be home. We can put that on and you'll be
courtside
or on top of the basket.
But actually watching a real game,
tied into it,
like a real NBA game.
It's a real,
like in the present.
Yeah. Like if there was a game tonight, you could go sit courtside in your house and watch the game with the Oculus VR goggles on.
No, they haven't done it that far yet because I looked into it. So it's like a select games, I think is what it is right now. I have to double check.
Well, no, I know it's a select game, but I'm just using the example of tonight. Come on, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, bro. It's called an example, man. Come on.
Sorry. I had to kind of put that out there.
I'm sorry. You just really upset me with that incorrect statement.
But wouldn't that take people away from the game, though?
No, because you still get that same atmosphere. The only thing it's more is he put it out to me the other day when we were talking about it. It's for those that maybe you can't quite afford, going to a game. It's not going to be as much.
If you can afford a VR,
but it's going to be to a point, and I agree with him. It's going to be set up let's just say it's like a. This is funny. I almost said this. A library.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. But you can't make noise. But it's going to be it could be like a Verizon hosting their thing. Like it could be at their store and hey, put this on. You can watch a game. We'll have a select 6 of them. If you're the first 6, you could sit.
Yeah, and plus,
it's going to be somewhere where people can get in.
Well, the thing is too, it's like any kind of technology. As it progresses, it always gets cheaper. So the more and more people that start using technology, the cheaper it's going to be. So these VR goggles and all that, they're a few $100s now, but I'm sure that price in the next 10 years is going to come down and it'll be accessible by everyone. But
it's going to be like you said before, like we've talked on Amazon. Amazon's going to make their brand. It's going to be, you're going to start getting the as we would call it, a knockoff brand or something.
Well, Apple is supposed to be, I've been reading about this for the last couple of years, and I just saw another article come up, but they're supposed to be getting into the VR game pretty heavy, where they're going to be putting out, I believe, augmented reality and virtual reality Apple hardware, which Apple typically, when they do something, they do it the best. So I would definitely, seeing what I've seen now, because until you really showed me the VR goggles that you have, I'd only use the kind where you put the phone into the goggles and that's kind of your screen. That's not really that dope. I was never really sold on that. But on the Oculus experience, when I tried that with you, that is a game changer. That showed me okay, virtual reality can actually be a thing that is cool, and I can totally see people using that. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I definitely think it's going to become way more accessible to people. But like Derek was saying, Delino, I think that there's a really good chance that it's just like you go to a movie theater right now. You go to a movie theater, or you go to a bowling alley, or you go to whatever for this experience. If I want to go to the game, instead of paying, a couple $100 to be courtside, maybe I just go to this theater that has all these goggles and I can sit courtside for $10, at any given game. Or I've got the device at my crib and I'm not leaving my living room and I'm courtside, so.
That's true too. All those virtual reality headsets have picked up. I got another one sitting over here. You can't quite see it, but it's set up, ready to go. Is Vive, I think is what it's called. And
that's good. That's good to know, guys. Everyone listening, Derek, in case anyone was worried, he always has a virtual reality headset next to him, ready to go. Just in those moments when no, but you just never know those moments where you're gonna need to jump into virtual reality on the fly. So it's great to just have those goggles ready.
Set up. I got the shop set up, ready to go. I got the poles ready. They're all lit up. The only thing it's missing is the computer. You plug that in and it's game on.
No, I'm just being funny. I'm just being funny. But I do want to say this, Derek. Is there any other topic that you wanted to cover? Because we are kind of, I feel like, getting close to our wrap up time on the show. We've been pretty.
Well, I think a big one is obviously, we got to hang out with Dorrough last week.
Yeah.
We did our episode, and we talked about Delino.
That's right.
We talked about him having that as a walk-up song. I think that was huge. It's something that I think me and him, I think we kind of joked around about it, but I kind of want to do it too. Is I was going to get him to, he said he's going to make a song for you, not with you. I don't think, unless if you rap.
Well,
it.
you guys were in
song, just a little snippet.
You guys were in the studio not too long ago in Dallas. You and Dorrough.
Yeah, we was in there listening to this. I don't know. We was in there just chilling, vibing. He was showing us, the way he gets down, and it's very interesting. But we came up with the idea to, he's a Dallas native, so I think that'll be
Cowboys fan, man.
Yeah, we gotta get him in the Rangers.
Big Rangers fan.
Ecosystem.
Not so much a Giants fan, but big Rangers and Cowboys fan.
I know. We're working on it though. He told me he was going to help me out. We might get a walkout song. He said he was going to do a walkout song for you. That was something that we had talked about as a hitter. You guys get multiple songs.
Yeah.
Do you know? Excuse me. Do you know what you are going to do with him on the song, or?
No, it's kind of going to be a surprise.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Now, is he surprising you, or are you going to be kind of surprising us? Like, you're going to know what it is before it goes out.
Yeah.
Straight up, just hey, this is it, debut, bam.
No, I want to hear it, but at the end of the day, it's his song. Like,
could you imagine that? Like, Delino never
musical.
hears the song, but the first time he's actually hearing it is when he's like walking up to the plate at the game.
That'd be crazy.
Like, I didn't sign off on that, but that would be kind of weird if that's how it went down.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna have any kind of input on it. But he's gonna be his artistic,
he's talented.
self. Yeah,
He's talented.
and I believe he'll come up with something dope and something that's not inappropriate.
Yeah, you always got to take care of the fans.
Yeah,
Right.
Something we're not effing doing here.
right.
Well, and then the other music thing too was it was the other night I went with you, but you were hanging out with Bone Thugs and Harmony at a party. Bone Thugs and Harmony, legendary hip hop group, like one of the most legendary.
Legend.
Yeah, that was tight.
Yeah,
Legendary.
Delino playing it off real casual, like, yeah, that was cool, I guess.
Yeah, he's not even going to talk about it. Like, yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
No big deal. We're close.
But
I don't really get caught up in all that. It's just, hey, it is what it is. It's nice meeting you. Glad I got the opportunity. This is sick. But I don't know. I don't really display my emotions
yeah.
externally. It's more internally.
Well, I thought it was cool because we were talking to Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, which he's obviously one of the most, like, if you know Bone Thugs, you definitely know Lazy. But I thought it was kind of cool because we were talking about baseball, and he had actually remembered your dad playing, which, Bone Thugs, they're a little bit of an older group. They're not like, the new young cats on the scene or anything like that. But it was kind of cool just seeing him know that, and then he watched your dad play, and now he's sitting there talking to you. It was a cool moment. There's a lot of cool moments that night. We kicked it with Des Bryant out there. Like, several of the Dallas Cowboys were at this party, but Des was there.
Hold on a sec. I got to pick that up real quick. Can you hold on 1 second?
Hey, Des.
Okay, we're good.
Des is great. Him and Delino kicking it, and just chatting about some different, opportunities and things coming up here this season. And then also, who else was out there? We had Michael Gallup.
Yep. Michael Gallup.
Jalen.
Jalen Smith.
Yep. And then we have one other guy.
He's huge.
Big monster.
Oh, Keith Davis.
He's huge.
I could run him over, though. Yeah, right.
Yo, actually, Derek, do you remember when Dorrough was on the show and he showed us his jeweler, and like he did the Deion Sanders piece and all that? But you remember when he was showing us the piece? It wasn't for Jalen, but it was another guy on the defensive line, or the offensive line, and it was
No, it was D-line.
you got the
It was
Hot Boys chain.
That was D-line.
Yeah. That was D-line.
Yeah,
Who's the defensive end? Begins with a D, I feel like.
See, I was just thinking of Crawford.
I want to say DeMarcus, but that don't sound right.
Yeah, but Jalen, he got one of those pieces too. So he was rocking it that night. So I saw it in person, and that came from Dorrough's jeweler, Ali, who we talked about. But that thing was pretty fresh.
Yeah, who went in there and got those from him?
I cannot remember who it was. We talked about it. He got them. He was telling us. I cannot remember, but he got it for the entire line. Is it defensive line or offensive line? Forgive me.
No, it's defense. It's gonna bother me.
Oh, you know what? I know we can find it on Dorrough's page because he made a post about it. Let's see.
Well, I can say one thing though. I think we lost that last maybe 5 minutes of that conversation right there. I don't know if the battery is almost shot on these.
On the audio?
Yep,
yeah, I had to replace my batteries.
Yeah. So that's something I definitely got to do.
Well, it's all good. I can just wrap it right here and we can just, because I mean we've gone for a minute, so and then we'll just have batteries ready to go next time. Actually, we can plug these in to a power outlet, so we don't have to worry about that next time.
No, that's fine. Hey, we all learn from the things, but he said it was DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay, yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence. That's right. Yeah, so I saw one of those chains. It was dope. Really nice looking. But anyways, you don't have any extra batteries, do you, with you right now?
Yeah, I do actually.
Like right next to you? Or no? If not, it's okay.
No, they're not right next to me.
It's all good. We're just going to go ahead and wrap the podcast right now. We got some audio difficulties. Our buddy Derek Dutch Oven Holland did not have extra batteries next to him. He was not prepared. But all that means is that we had a great show.
That.
Yeah, and what sucks is that no one can hear you right now. No one can hear you. I can just say whatever, and no one's going to know.
No, they can hear me.
Can they?
They can hear me. Yeah, we're live right now. I just said we lost like 10 minutes. Or not even 10 minutes. I don't know what we lost. Like, I don't know exactly when it cut off. I looked back down as we were talking about the jewelry.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so we're back on. But I still think it's a good point to wrap. Delino, we really appreciate you coming on the show, man. You are our third guest on the fourth episode. And I got to know one last question. How excited are you right now after this show's over to learn the secret handshake?
I've kind of been wanting to know what the secret handshake is exactly, so I am pretty hyped.
Okay.
Don't worry, everybody wants to know.
Everyone wants to know. I promise this will be a thing like a year from now. The internet will want to know what the secret handshake is. But anyways, we really appreciate it.
I do want to say, oh, okay, I'll take it then.
Yeah, you go. You got this. This is all you.
I do want to say, though, one thing, obviously for you coming on the show, we want to know, how can people find you? What's social media? What's your name on there? Because we definitely need that love out there too.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Lino DeShields, Lino DeShields. Very simple. No underscore, no craziness. Just Lino DeShields. And that's pretty much it, really.
I mean, that's you game at all? Do you do any of that stuff? I don't know if you keep that crap.
He said he hadn't been on the sticks in a while, man. Were you paying attention at the beginning of this? Come on.
People ask me what my gamer tag is, and I have no idea. It was like I made my gamer tag when I was in high school or something, and
I mean, you don't have to share it, bro. It's okay if you like keeping it private. You said you haven't been on in a while too. I got yelled at. I got scolded.
If I knew what it was, I would.
Oh, then there's where we go.
I don't.
How did I become the dad in this relationship, Derek?
It happens, This delay is what kills everything right now. But I gotta say though, awesome job coming out here with us, taking the time to do this.
Sure.
Especially with T back in Dallas, for him to stay up late. I know it's past his bedtime over there.
Yeah, it is 9 o'clock.
But no, I mean, it was awesome. I appreciate you taking the time with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sure.
Obviously, I wish you nothing but the best until I play against you again, if that happens.
Yeah, it's not happening this year.
No. But, again, thank you. It means a lot to us.
Sure.
You're about to learn the handshake.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, Delino. Bye.